Chapter 60, 197. Previously, the hidden Emperor's star wasn't much and couldn't enter our eyes. But now it was different. An incredible person had come to the hidden Emperor's star. The six-fingered ghost master said coldly, "What kind of person could make senior sister so afraid?" Nine-tailed fox didn't believe it. Could it be a peak great emperor? The deity realm shouldn't have sent such a great emperor. Could it be that some ancient existence had awakened? "Have you heard of Linwoody?" the six-fingered ghost master asked. Linwoody? The person who walked the immortal path 100 years ago? Wasn't he already dead? Why did he mention him? Nine-tailed fox was puzzled. The six-fingered ghost master said, "He didn't die. He appeared in the buried emperor's star and became very strong. He killed my junior brother." What? Young Master Ghost was dead? Nine-tailed fox was extremely surprised. She knew young Master Ghost's strength. Although he wasn't as strong as them, he was still a great emperor. How could he die like this? Even if he couldn't win, it was possible for him to escape. Also, how did Linwoody survive? All of this was too strange. The six-fingered ghost master said, "This time, we will go to the buried emperor's star. First, we will kill Linwoody. Second, there are many treasures in the buried emperor's star. This time, I plan to explore it. This treasure was left behind by the ancient god." Nine-tailed fox was stunned. "What did you say? Left behind by the ancient god? Are you sure? If it was just Linwoody, she might not be interested." But the treasure left behind by the ancient god was different. To them, this was a heaven-shaking fortune. Now, I can't tell you about this treasure, but after we take down Linwoody, we will explore it together. This time, I want to destroy the entire buried emperor's star. So you should prepare. I will also go prepare. 1 month later, we will set off. 1 month? Nine-tailed fox was surprised. Would it take so long? The six-fingered ghost master said, "I plan to use a secret immortal technique to condense a group of fake emperors." Nine-tailed fox frowned. The so-called fake emperors were the power formed by the fusion of countless souls. They were comparable to great emperors. Of course, they weren't real great emperors, but they won in numbers. Linwoody may not be a threat, but the treasures left behind by the ancient gods are not so easy to obtain. Prepare well. With that, the six-fingered ghost master left. After leaving, she returned to the 10,000 Ghost Palace and began to gather the army of ghosts. In an instant, countless ghostly figures rapidly condensed. The six-fingered ghost master made his move. "Myriad worlds in the heavens, heed my command. Myriad ghosts shall reign supreme." The devouring began. In an instant, billions of ghosts began to devour everything in a frenzy. All sorts of ghostly wails and wolf howls rang out. Between heaven and earth, a sinister wind swept out. It was extremely terrifying. On this day, in the universe, countless planets and worlds were terrified. They saw a sky full of ghostly shadows circling around and devouring their souls. At the same time, in the depths of the universe, auras comparable to great emperors appeared one after another and exploded. Countless people were terrified. Did someone confirm their Tao and become an emperor? Impossible. Within 10,000 years, it was impossible to attain the Tao in the universe. This terrifying aura lasted for a month. A month later, 100 figures stood in front of the 10,000 Ghosts Palace. The tens of millions of ghosts from before had already disappeared. As for the 100 figures, each of them was comparable to a great emperor. They were the false emperors. "Greetings, Ghost Master." The 100 peerless experts bowed respectfully to the six-fingered ghost master. The six-fingered ghost master was incomparably excited. That was great. This was the first time she had gathered so many experts. This kind of power could definitely sweep through everything. What was Linwoody? With a wave of his hand, he could turn Linwoody into ashes. Even if it was a treasure left behind by an ancient god, he was confident he would use these 100 great emperors to open the treasure. Let's go. In the next moment, the six-fingered ghost master made his move. He soared into the sky and flew into the distance with the 100 experts. At the same time, in the Fox Mountain, Nine-Tailed Fox also made her move. She brought countless experts of the Fox clan and quickly descended. This time, they wanted to make the buried Emperor's star disappear from the universe. At this moment, the buried Emperor's star had been peaceful for a month. During this month, they had been living quite comfortably. The previous battles had caused them to suffer countless casualties. Now, they could finally rest and recuperate. However, the good times didn't last long. On this day, they felt the entire world tremble violently. Countless cracks appeared, as if the world was about to be destroyed. Damn it, what happened this time? The martialists on the buried Emperor's star were stunned. They were suppressed to the point that they couldn't move at all. The people from the great Emperor family were also terrified. This was the power of a great emperor. Moreover, there was more than one of them. Why did it feel like there were hundreds of them? Impossible. How could there be so many great emperors? They quickly contacted the Divine Union. The people from the Divine Union were also on guard. The Crimson Dragon's eyes were about to pop out. He also felt the aura of more than 100 great emperors. Could it be that the entire Prometheus sect had attacked? Damn it, let's go. Let's go quickly. The Crimson Dragon roared furiously. He quickly brought his people and left. In the next moment, countless figures in the sky moved. One after another, large hands slammed down. The world shook violently. Some people instantly turned into a bloody mist. The mountains, rivers, and sects below were destroyed once again. Ha ha, I want to punch through this planet. A six-tailed fox sneered. He punched towards the buried Emperor's star. He wanted to punch through this world. However, this time he let out a blood-curdling scream as his palm opened. His body turned into ashes. What was going on? In the sky, the people from the fox tribe were stunned. The nine-tailed fox also frowned. Don't attack this world first. This world is very strange. Even the ancient god left behind treasures here. It can't be destroyed easily. Let's attack the martial artists inside first. After we kill all of them, we can study this planet's world. Yes, the people from the Fox tribe no longer attacked the buried Emperor star. Instead, they started attacking the martial artists inside. On the other side, the six-fingered ghost master had also arrived with 100 fake emperors. They were like peerless gods that had descended on this world. Seal. In an instant, they sealed the buried Emperor's star and the nearby starry sky. No one could escape. Not good, the people from the Gu family were also in despair. The spatial passage that they had just opened had actually been destroyed. They couldn't leave at all. The people from the Yi family had ugly expressions. The Chilan tribe and the Phoenix tribe were even more desperate. They had already seen hundreds of figures standing there like gods and demons. Their aura was comparable to that of a great emperor. Impossible! The Crimson Dragon roared. Were these people from the Ghost Tribe? How could the Ghost Tribe have such powerful strength? One must know that this was only a portion of the Ghost Immortal's strength. If the Prometheus realm was so terrifying, there was no need to fight at all. Even the deity realm was no match for it. They still didn't know that although these fake emperors were comparable to great emperors, they couldn't last for long. They could only last for 10 days. After 10 days, these experts would be turned into ashes. The price to pay was huge. One must know that this had already consumed most of the strength of the Ghost Tribe. If they failed this time, it would be very difficult to gather so many fake emperors again. Therefore, the six-fingered Ghost Master was also staking everything on this one throw. Chapter 60, 198. Despair began to spread throughout the hidden emperor's star. They couldn't resist at all. If there were several great emperors or even 10 great emperors, they were confident that they could fight them. Even if they couldn't defeat them, they could still leave. But now, more than 100 great emperors were absolutely suppressing them. They didn't have any chance of winning. Kill the ants below. The six-fingered ghost master in the sky issued an order. The experts of the ghost clan started to attack. It's over. We're doomed. Some people were in despair. At this moment, a voice came from the northernmost land. When the Crimson Dragon heard it, he cried out in alarm. That's Xue Qi's voice. Quickly, half of you go to the northernmost land. The rest of you follow me to the northernmost land. Immediately, the martial artists on the hidden Emperor's star started to flee toward the south and north. At this moment, Xue Qi walked out of the northernmost land. She waved her hand, and the eternal glacier erupted with boundless might, forming a world of ice and frost. A barrier of ice was formed, and the people who entered the ice world were protected by it. The experts outside rushed over. The terrifying power hit the glacier, causing an earth-shattering sound. The glacier continued to shatter. Xue Qi furrowed her brows. Why are there so many great emperors? To be honest, this was beyond her expectations. For the past month, she had been walking on the ice world's path. Finally, she succeeded. She had passed the ice world's path, and she had obtained the secret cultivation technique for the divine body. At the same time, her strength had increased. Originally, this was a good thing because she had found the direction of her future cultivation. She could continue to cultivate toward the great emperor realm. However, she didn't expect that she would encounter so many powerful enemies after coming out. She asked, "What's going on?" The toad was the one who led these people to the northernmost land. The toad spat out a mouthful of saliva and said, "How would I know? In the past month, everything had been peaceful, but suddenly so many experts had arrived. I think Higgin has gone crazy, and he sent out his entire army. That's impossible, right?" The final battle couldn't be fought on the hidden Emperor's star. Xue Qi furrowed her brows. She asked, "Where's my husband? Where is he?" The toad said, "He hasn't come out yet. I don't know what's the situation." Xue Qi said, "I can't hold on for long. He actually blocked it?" Up in the sky, Nine-Tailed Fox frowned at the sight. He directly blasted it open with absolute power. He roared furiously. However, the six-fingered ghost master said, "Don't act rashly. That place is not ordinary." She was shocked. What's going on? The land of the extreme north should be one of the treasures left behind by the ancient city. How could there be people there? Could it be that the other party had obtained the treasure? Impossible. Even young Master Gui did not succeed. How could an ordinary great emperor succeed? However, no matter what, she couldn't kill Xue Qi easily. She wanted to capture him and slowly collect his soul. There was also the Aeon Glacier, which could not be easily attacked. She had dispatched some experts comparable to great emperors to deal with them. These peerless experts only attacked the Guardian of Ice and did not attack other places. This made the people inside heave a sigh of relief. Nine-Tailed Fox frowned when she saw this, but she did not say anything. He was also waiting for the ancient god's treasure. This was the situation in the far north. On the other side, there were countless experts chasing after the Crimson Dragon and the others. These people ran toward the far south. When they arrived at the southernmost land, Lin Xian was nowhere to be seen. However, the experts behind them had already caught up. What should they do? The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth and said, "Go to the Flaming Mountain." These people began to climb the Flaming Mountain. Many of their bodies cracked. However, it was better to hide here than to die outside. In the Flaming Mountain in the far south, Lin Xian opened his eyes. The purple flames around him slowly disappeared. A month has passed. I finally made it. At this moment, his body was broken. Countless cracks had appeared on the terrifying 9 Yang divine body. In the next moment, Lin Xian took out the divine vitality liquid from the sword world and began to swallow it. The cracks on his body quickly healed. At the same time, he stood up and said, "Senior, I have successfully passed the test." "That's right." The soul of the fire tree rang out. "You can get the follow-up cultivation method." With that, in the depths of the flaming mountain, a ray of light flew out from an ancient wall. There were originally countless words on the wall. However, at this moment, these words disappeared. They all flew into Lin Xian's mind. Lin Xian felt that he was quite tired. There was a lot of information. It was really the cultivation method of the 9 Yang divine body. He could cultivate to the super great emperor level. That's great. This way, before he became a land immortal, he wouldn't have to worry about his physique. He really wanted to cultivate immediately. However, at this moment, the fire tree said, "You'd better go out," because there was a huge change in the terrain. It seemed that countless people wanted to destroy the world. Hearing this, Lin Xian's expression changed. Big change. Not good. Could it be that the people of the Ghost Clan had made a comeback? He couldn't care less. The fire tree said, "I can't help you too much. I'm only responsible for guarding this ancient God's cave." "I understand, Senior. I can handle it myself." Lin Xian walked out. As he did so, his aura began to rise once again. The power of the entire ancient God's cave fused into his body. Lin Xian was shocked. He felt that his 9 Yang divine body had become stronger again. "Thank you." Lin Xian was overjoyed. In the next moment, he let out a long roar and walked out. After coming out, his expression changed, because he felt that there were dozens of powerful figures in front of him. Great Emperor? No, they weren't real great emperors. The other party didn't have divine fire or immortal chi. In front of him, a great battle had already broken out. The Crimson Dragon rushed out and fought with 5 experts. These 5 peerless experts attacked together. The Crimson Dragon was actually able to fight evenly. However, he only killed one and retreated. After spitting out a mouthful of dragon blood, he said, "Damn it, this is not the way. No, we can't beat him." The Crimson Dragon's face darkened. "I'm strong enough to fight 5. Okay?" However, he soon sighed. "So, what if it's 1 against 5? There were 36 great emperor-level experts in front of him. He was no match for them. Boom. At this moment, a golden fist swung over from the distance and directly enveloped 2 great emperor-level existences. There was a loud boom. The bodies of the 2 Ghost Clan experts split open and turned into ashes. Were they dead? The cultivators of the hidden Emperor Star, hiding in the Flame Mountain, were all shocked. So powerful. The Crimson Dragon turned around and then cheered. "It's Lin Xian. He's out of seclusion." "Great. What? Is it Lin Wuti? We have hope. We can live. Although there are 36 experts in front of us, so what? Lin Wuti has created countless miracles. Lin Gongzi will definitely be able to take us out of here. Yes, let's leave the hidden Emperor's Star and go to the universe. Why don't we go to the deity ground?" All kinds of discussions could be heard. They felt that Lin Xian had created a miracle by slaughtering his way out and leading them away. However, Lin Xian had no intention of leaving. He said, "Don't worry, I'll kill these fake emperors." It wasn't the first time he had seen these experts in front of him. The ghost race had swallowed tens of millions of souls and condensed them into powerhouses. They were not real great emperors. Lin Xian didn't take them seriously. What's more, his current strength was stronger than before. Chapter 60, 199. You're alone? You're courting death. The 10 peerless masters in front of him rushed over. They ran through heaven and earth, and the aura on their bodies shattered the 9 heavens. "Not good, kid, be careful." The Crimson Dragon also exclaimed, If it doesn't work, let's leave. Where there's life, there's hope. Lin Xian laughed. I don't care about these pieces of trash. As he spoke, he made a move. A sun god's sword flew out and instantly cut a master in front of him in half. His soul was miserable, but no blood flowed out because these people were not real creatures. They were just monsters. The other 9 masters were furious. They rushed over crazily, wanting to kill Lin Xian together. Lin Xian made a seal with his palms, the divine seal of 9 suns. A huge golden handprint covered the hotel and shook a volcano by the lake. A sea of fire swept across the sky. The 9 masters were shrouded by this huge handprint. Their bodies swayed, and fear appeared in their eyes. No, damn it, how was this possible? They were crazy. What kind of physique was this? The other party fought against 9 of them alone. In the next moment, the bodies of the 9 people shattered, and their remnant souls were burned to ashes by the divine fire of 9 suns. Dead? Everyone was dumbfounded. The people on the fiery mountain couldn't believe it. The Crimson Dragon also exclaimed, "This guy is stronger than before. What happened in the past month? What kind of fortune did he get?" Buzz. Another punch was thrown out, and the 10th peerless master was blasted into pieces. I thought that after I killed young Master Gui, you people of the Ghost Clan wouldn't dare to come again. But I didn't expect you to be so reckless. Since that's the case, go to hell. Lin Xian stomped his foot and rushed over. The remaining dozen or so peerless masters roared. A great battle broke out in an instant. However, Lin Xian was even more terrifying. The sun god sword in his hand erupted with endless power. He split 2 masters with one sword. Another sword strike pierced through 5 experts. Just like this, every time he attacked, he could injure the peerless masters on the opposite side. After dozens of moves, the peerless experts on the other side fell one after another. In the blink of an eye, 36 martial monarchs vanished into thin air. Lin Xian stood in the void like a peerless god of war. Is it over? The people on the flaming mountain couldn't believe it. They were dumbfounded. The 36 peerless experts from before had almost driven them to despair. At one point, they thought that they were dead for sure. Even if Lin Xian came, he could only take them and escape. But who would have thought that this was not the case at all? After Lin Xian came out, he was extremely powerful. He directly killed 36 great emperors. The Crimson Dragon exclaimed, "Kid, you've become a super great emperor?" Lin Xian said, "No." Moreover, although these people were peerless experts, they were not true great emperors. You don't even have divine fire or immortal qi. So how can you resist my immortal power? That's great. The Crimson Dragon said, "In that case, let's kill our way over." There are still some people in the far north. Lin Xian nodded and said, "I sensed it. Let's go." With a wave of his sleeve, he tore open the void with the Crimson Dragon and the others and disappeared. At the same time, a demon fox below was fleeing quickly. The scene he saw before was too shocking. He had to go back and report it. "Master Nine-Tailed Fox, not good. Our people were killed." What happened? In the sky, Nine-Tailed Fox frowned tightly. What happened in the far south? 36 experts have all died. How is this possible? The 6-fingered ghost master also exclaimed, "Did a super great emperor appear? Damn it, let's go and take a look." An extremely terrifying light burst out of their eyes. Then they tore open the void and flew toward the far south. Not long after they left, Lin Xian and the others appeared in the far north. At this moment, the glacier in the far north had been shattered, and the people inside were also desperate. There were many experts here, and 72 great emperors. Among them, in addition to the power of the Ghost Clan, there were also some experts of the Fox Clan. When the two sides joined forces, they were extremely powerful. If it weren't for the fact that the 6-fingered ghost master didn't want to destroy the ancient god's relic and kill Xueqi, the glacier would have been shattered long ago. Even so, it couldn't hold on for long. Damn it, there are more people here. The Crimson Dragon's scalp went numb. There were 72 of them, which was double the number of people on their side. Boy, can you do it? Lin Xian nodded and said, "No problem." This time, his deity power burst out and condensed into a deity sword. "Kill!" Lin Xian shouted loudly and slashed down with the sword. Boom! In front of him, 7 great emperors were shattered, and they screamed miserably. Among them, there were 3 experts of the Fox clan. Immediately, demonic blood spread out. The people inside the Ice Guardian were all stunned. However, when they saw that it was Lin Xian who attacked, they cheered. "Husband!" Xueqi also cried out in surprise. In the next moment, she also rushed out. Lin Xian said, "Let's kill them first." "Okay." Xueqi nodded and stood side by side with Lin Xian. At the same time, the peerless experts on the other side shouted angrily, "Kill these 2 guys!" There were dozens of them, so how could they not kill them? Those great emperors attacked from all directions, causing the hidden Emperor's star to shake violently. Thousands of large cracks appeared in the 9 heavens. Everyone in the universe was terrified. What kind of battle was going on there? Was it a battle between 100 experts? The 9 yin and 9 yang fused together, and Lin Xian and Xueqi unleashed their divine bodies. At this moment, the 9 yin and 9 yang divine bodies displayed their divine might. The 2 figures kept fusing together, and they rushed out like a tai chi of ice and fire. Everywhere they passed, heaven and earth shattered. The body of a great emperor of the Fox clan was split in half, and in the blink of an eye, 5 Ghost Clan experts were crushed into pieces. Lin Xian and Xueqi swept through and killed 30 experts in the blink of an eye. The remaining 30 or so experts were terrified. "Damn it! Run! Run!" They frantically ran away. Previously, when they faced the 2 people, they sneered disdainfully. But now they were horrified. This was the combat power of a great emperor, and it was not something they could resist at all. In the extreme south, 2 figures appeared. They were the 9-tailed fox and the 6-fingered ghost master. After they arrived, they frowned. "The battle here is over." The 9-tailed fox exclaimed, "What terrifying information! I feel an unusual power in this place. Also, the extreme north just now." He looked at the 6-fingered ghost master and said, "Are these 2 places the cave abodes left by the ancient gods? Don't lie to me anymore. Otherwise, I won't attack you again." The 6-fingered ghost master knew that he couldn't hide it anymore. The guy in front of him was no weaker than him. She said, "Yes, they are the cave abodes of the ancient gods. So, I didn't ask you to use your full strength in the extreme north. If you break some of the arrays, I'm afraid we won't be able to get in for the rest of our lives. Why didn't you tell me earlier? I will be careful." The 9-tailed fox snorted. The 6-fingered ghost master said with a smile, "It's okay. After we destroy these ants in this world, we have plenty of time to find them slowly." As soon as her voice fell, her expression suddenly changed. "Damn it, what's going on? Why do I feel that the experts of the Ghost Clan are dying one after another?" Chapter 6200. Oh no, something happened in the extreme north. The 6-fingered ghost master's expression changed drastically. The same went for 9-tailed fox. Her brows were tightly furrowed. It could be seen that the extreme north was surrounded by a boundless sea of blood. The experts of the Fox clan were dying one after another. Damn it. They were courting death. The 2 of them roared angrily and turned around to leave the extreme north. At this moment, everyone was extremely excited. Lin Xian and Xueqi were really too strong. The combination of the 9 yin and 9 yang was enough to sweep through everything. Those fake emperors were no match for them at all. Boom. Lin Xian attacked again, killing those who were escaping. However, at this moment, a black pagoda fell from the sky and blocked Lin Xian's palm. With a boom, a vast ocean-like power swept out. Lin Xian retracted his palm. He was surprised. A super great emperor had arrived. Xueqi also frowned. In the next moment, she saw an ordinary-looking woman descend. This woman was surrounded by ghostly fog, and she was abnormally terrifying. The killing intent in her eyes was not concealed at all. This was the six-fingered ghost master. After she descended, she looked at the surrounding scene, and her expression became extremely unsightly. So many fake emperors had died. One had to know that she had brought almost all the forces of the 10,000 Ghost Palace with her. She had lost so many people this time, and she had no way of explaining herself when she returned. You are unforgivable. You all deserve to die. The six-fingered ghost master gritted her teeth and roared. Just you? Lin Xian snorted coldly. You want to come to the hidden emperor's star? You should be prepared to be killed. You are courting death. The six-fingered ghost master roared angrily. She pointed her finger over, and the ghostly chi around her finger suddenly exploded, and a destructive power swept out. Every piece of space in the surroundings was constantly being shattered. Her finger was her strongest weapon. This finger strike made countless people feel despair. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Get lost! With a furious roar, he also pointed his finger. Dazzling sword chi danced on his fingertip. In the next moment, the two collided, and a sonorous sound rang out. One had to admit that the six-fingered ghost master was extremely powerful. Her finger was a divine weapon, and it was even more terrifying than an extreme Dao weapon. Therefore, her fingers were not injured at all. This was her strong capital. You're Lin Wuti, aren't you? You're not as strong as I thought. Next, I will let you experience what it means to live a life worse than death. The six-fingered ghost master's cold voice resounded. She quickly charged towards Lin Xian. You're overconfident. Just now, I only casually pointed at you. Furthermore, you're a level higher than me, yet you can't even hurt me. I don't know what you have to be proud of. After saying that, Lin Xian attacked again. With a wave of his arm, an even more terrifying sword chi burst out. This sword was indestructible and seemed to be able to destroy the heavens and the earth. Lin Xian's sword had become even more terrifying than before. Boom, boom. There was an earth-shattering collision. The six-fingered ghost master was actually pushed back by this sword. He crushed the void, withdrawing into the distance, his expression ugly to the extreme. Lin Xian, on the other hand, laughed heartily with his sword in hand. What a joke! Didn't you say that I'm weak? Aren't you looking down on me? Then why were you pushed back by me? Super great emperor, you're really trash. Hearing Lin Xian's mockery, the six-fingered ghost master's expression was extremely ugly. To be honest, she really couldn't believe that a super great emperor could kill an ordinary great emperor so easily. However, this time, she miscalculated. Her opponent's power wasn't divine fire or immortal chi. Instead, it was a fusion of power. Was this the power of an immortal? It was indeed powerful. This made her even more determined to kill him. She definitely couldn't let him live. Can you do it? If not, I'll do it. At this moment, Nine-Tailed Fox also walked over. As soon as his voice fell, a huge claw came slashing towards him. Between heaven and earth, a demonic beast's claw appeared, carrying with it endless precepts and great chaos as it streaked across the sky. The endless void shattered. This attack could raise an entire world to the ground. The demonic fox's claw instantly appeared above Lin Xian's head, wanting to smash it into pieces. Lin Xian shouted coldly, "Who do you think you are? Get lost!" Boom! Another sword turned into a shocking divine dragon, bearing its fangs and brandishing its claws, slamming towards the demonic fox's claw. With a loud boom, the demonic fox's claw was torn apart. Nine-tailed fox snorted coldly and retracted his palm. There were cracks on his palm. Unforgivable. The pain was driving him crazy. He had actually been injured by a great emperor at a lower cultivation level. Embarrassing. This was too embarrassing. Kid, I'm going to kill you. The demonic chi on Nine-tailed fox's body continued to spread. The 9 tails behind his back completely bloomed. A sense of apocalyptic crisis erupted from his body. At this moment, the ghost tribe and the fox tribe experts who were running away also stopped. They looked at this scene in disbelief. This kid really had the strength of a super great emperor. He could actually injure Nine-tailed fox and force the 6-fingered ghost master to retreat. No wonder he could kill them as if he was cutting vegetables. This kid was dead meat. Lord Nine-tailed fox would definitely kill him. The fox tribe expert gritted his teeth and said, "That's right, Nine-tailed fox was going to attack with all his strength." However, the 6-fingered ghost master walked out and said, "This prey is mine. Don't fight with me. Go find the others." "Oh, really? Well, I'll kill the others first. This woman is that kid's partner, right? Then I'll capture her first." Then Nine-tailed fox attacked Xueqi. Xueqi's expression changed, and she quickly retreated. At the same time, she activated the 9 divine body, and the 9 serenity sword appeared in her hand. She slashed out with her sword. With a clang, Xueqi was forced back. However, she was not seriously injured. She had dodged the attack. This surprised countless people. Nine-tailed fox's expression was even more unsightly. Lin Wudi could injure him because of the power of an immortal. How could this woman do that? She was just an ordinary great emperor. Even if she cultivated the divine body, so what? He was a super great emperor. His body could crush his opponent. Thinking of this, he roared angrily and charged forward. Lin Xian's expression darkened. "You're courting death." He wanted to attack, but the 6-fingered ghost master stopped him. The 6-fingered ghost master said with a smile, "I'm your opponent. As for your partner, I'll let you watch her die. All of you, attack together." Lin Xian said. The Crimson Dragon and the others also charged forward to fight. Of course, they did not dare to fight in close combat. After all, they were no match for a super great emperor. However, they could attack from afar. The hidden emperor's star still had many supreme weapons. At this moment, they attacked with all their strength. Lin Xian transmitted his voice to Xueqi, telling her not to take the attack head-on. She just had to dodge the attack. "You don't have to worry about me. This guy can't kill me." Previously, when I was in the Aeon Glacier, I didn't just obtain the cultivation method of the divine body. I also obtained other treasures. This surprised Lin Xian. This was because Lin Xian did not obtain any treasures. However, he did not care. The stronger Xueqi was, the more relieved he would be. Buzz. Xueqi waved her hand, and an ice talisman appeared in her hand. This ice talisman was very simple. The great emperors could not understand the runes on it. It was something left behind by a god. Nine-tailed fox's expression changed. He wanted to retreat. However, it was too late. The ice talisman was slapped into the void. Immediately, the space was covered by ice. Chapter 62:01. The space where the ice talisman was made the nine-tailed fox's movements very slow. Seeing this, Xueqi breathed a sigh of relief. This ice talisman was really magical. On the other side, Lin Xian also relaxed. He turned to look at the 6-fingered ghost master and said, "Now, I'll deal with you with all my strength." Lin Xian charged at the 6-fingered ghost master. The two of them fought fiercely. The 6 fingers of the ghost master were extremely terrifying. With earth-shattering power, they wanted to tear Lin Xian's body apart. However, Lin Xian's sword was also extremely terrifying. coupled with the power of the immortals. It was not weaker than the two immortal energies of the opponent. From the beginning, the two of them were evenly matched. The six-fingered ghost master could not stand it anymore. She began to use her trump card. She took out a weapon that was passed down to her by her master. Her master was a ghost immortal, and the weapon given to her was very powerful. It was a black cauldron with 3 ghost faces on it. After she took it out, the 3 ghost faces floated out as if they could bite everything. Seeing that the opponent had used her trump card, Lin Xian was no exception. He took out the fragment of the Samsara sword and summoned the phantom of the Samsara sword. As soon as the fragment appeared, it sent the black cauldron flying. Cracks appeared on the soul of the six-fingered ghost master, splitting it into 2 halves. She fled in horror. The power of the Samsara, it almost killed her. This guy was too dangerous. The trump card in his hand was too powerful. The Samsara sword was one of the 5 swords in the world. She was suppressed. She gritted her teeth and looked at the fake emperors in the distance who were still alive. These people were all created by her. At this moment, she said, "Give me your last bit of power." She stretched out her hand. Those fake emperors wanted to escape, but how could it be possible? Their bodies split apart, sucked into the black cauldron, rolling about inside. Soon, a weapon flew out of the cauldron. It was a long black saber with heavy resentment on it. This slash was enough to split a super great emperor in half. "Boy, I'll see how you die this time." With this saber, the six-fingered ghost master's strength increased greatly. She must capture him and ask the secret of the power of the immortals. She rushed forward. However, Lin Xian laughed. "Is that all you have?" He took out another fragment of the Samsara sword. One defensive move, one offensive move, both of which caused the other party to sway nonstop. The six-fingered ghost master's expression changed drastically. He wanted to retreat, but it was too late. She was pierced again. "You're really trash. You're not much stronger than your junior brother." Lin Xian said coldly, "Young Master Ghost has already gone to hell. Go down there and find him." After Lin Xian finished speaking, he slashed out with his sword. Not good. The six-fingered ghost master felt his life being threatened. She knew that if she did not pay a price, she would not be able to leave. Thus, she separated her soul and used her body to block the attack. Boom, boom. Her body split open. The self-destructive power of a super great emperor was enough to destroy everything, even if it was just a body. The hidden emperor's star shook violently, as if it was about to turn into dust. At this moment, everyone was terrified. Lin Xian's expression also changed. "You're courting death." Inside the ice talisman, Nine-Tailed Fox's expression also changed drastically. What happened outside? In such a short time, the six-fingered ghost master was about to self-destruct. This world was too terrifying. He also wanted to escape, because he did not dare to be enveloped by this power. "Let's die together." A crazy expression appeared on the six-fingered ghost master's face. The remaining part of her soul fled into the distance. She wanted to watch these people fall from the 9 heavens. However, at this critical moment, somewhere in the hidden Emperor's star, a dragon's roar sounded. Then, endless swordlight danced in the air, shattering the destructive power. It was the aura of the great dragon sword. Lin Xian exclaimed, "Is Shenyuan attacking again?" One had to know that there was a Lord Shenyuan who was extremely terrifying. Had he come out now? The others also raised their heads to look over. However, they did not see any figure at all. Only the biting cold sword energy was sweeping across. The self-destructive power formed by the super-strong body quickly disappeared. No, the six-fingered ghost master's expression changed drastically. The remaining soul quickly fled. "Where are you going?" Lin Xian punched out, tearing the soul of the six-fingered ghost master into pieces. On the other side, Nine-Tailed Fox did not care about anything. Her hands split open, and the destructive power tore open the ice. Then she fled into the distance. Lin Xian snorted coldly and wanted to chase after her. However, at this moment, a voice came from under the ground. "Don't chase after them." Lin Xian stopped in his tracks when he heard the voice. Lord Xian Yuan. He remembered the other party's voice. He said, "Lord Xian Yuan, if we don't kill these people, they will come again in the future." This nine-tailed fox was also very powerful. Except for Lin Xian, no one else on the Hidden Emperor's star was a match for her. Even if Xue Qi could use the ice talisman to restrain her, she could not kill her. A super great emperor was nothing to be afraid of. Lord Xuanyuan's voice sounded. He said, "Little guy, you are lucky and unlucky to be able to come back at this time." Lin Xian was stunned. "Senior, what do you mean?" Lord Xianyuan sighed. "Heaven's punishment is coming. You can't escape. Of course, with your immortal power, you might be able to bring unexpected changes to the God realm. So, you are lucky and unlucky. What is heaven's punishment?" After Lin Xian asked, the great dragon sword soul in the sky flew down and formed a sword cage. It enveloped the remaining demon clan experts who were still alive. Those people knelt on the ground in horror. "Spare our lives." How dare they resist? Even a super great emperor was no match for it, let alone them. Xian Yuan killed these people. The great dragon sword soul in the air swung its tail and returned to Lin Xian's side. In the next moment, it entered Lin Xian's body. There were two things. First, the great dragon sword soul was yours. Now it has returned to your side. You don't need me to keep it for you. Second, heaven's punishment is coming. This is a disaster for all the realms, not only the God realm, but also the Hidden Emperor's star. Hurry up and prepare. I will send a message to the people of the God realm. Go and gather everyone. Soon, the people of the God realm will come looking for you. After this voice, Lord Xuanyuan's aura disappeared. Lin Xian took a deep breath and said, "Everyone, gather." They quickly returned to the Divine Union. The great Emperor clans and the remote Antiquity clans also followed. They did not know what was going on. Lin Xian furrowed his brows tightly. Master Xuanyuan's strength was terrifying. What realm had he reached? He did not know. However, even he said that the situation was serious. He was afraid that a world-destroying storm was coming. Chapter 6202. The people outside still didn't know what had happened on the Hidden Emperor's star. However, the nine-tailed fox had escaped. His arms had been broken, and the bleeding had stopped. However, they still hadn't grown back. After all, it was impossible for him to recover instantly from self-destruction. He would probably need to cultivate for a period of time to recover. However, he couldn't care less about that. He had to go back and report to his master, Immortal Fox. The Hidden Emperor's star was too terrifying. Moreover, he had to report about Lin Wudi. A person with the power of an immortal was definitely a peerless enemy. The nine-tailed fox flew back to Fox Mountain, wanting to enter the heavenly land to look for his master. At the same time, in the heavenly land's Qing city, everyone's bodies trembled. They heard Xuanyuan's voice transmission, and their expressions immediately became solemn. "Oh, no, the heavenly punishment is coming. How can it be so fast? Damn it, we have to prepare quickly. Otherwise, none of us will be able to escape." Immortal Fox and the other Nirvana realm powerhouses who were attacking outside also stopped. They looked up at the sky, and then they were overjoyed. "Retreat." Immortal Fox waved his hand and led the group of powerhouses to retreat quickly. On the way, they met the nine-tailed fox. "Master." The nine-tailed fox was about to cry. Just as he was about to say something, Immortal Fox waved his sleeve and took him away, saying, "We'll talk when we get back." They quickly returned. They didn't go to Fox Mountain at all. Instead, they returned directly to the Nirvana realm It wasn't just the heavenly land. Ghost Immortal was also fighting with Lin Zhan and the others. However, not long after, Ghost Immortal raised his eyebrows and exclaimed, "Is it time?" In the next moment, he retreated with his people. As he left, he sneered, "People of the divine realm, wait for your death." Had they left, the people of the divine realm were injured and pale. The battles over the years had caused them to be severely injured. After all, their opponent was Bayan. However, after retreating, they heaved a sigh of relief. However, Lin Zhan, Lord Alcohol, and the others frowned. Something's wrong. The Nirvana realm wasn't at a disadvantage. Why would they retreat? Soon, their expressions changed. They also heard Xuan Yuan's voice transmission. "Oh no, let's go. Seal the ancient city. Let's return to the heavenly land and head to the heavenly land's Qing city." On the other side, Ghost Immortal returned to the other side and found that Fox Immortal, Yuan Immortal, and the others had already returned. He said, "Is he going to start?" The few land immortals nodded. At this moment, Immortal Fox revealed a meaningful smile. "You Fox, what's the meaning of this? Are you plotting against me?" Ghost Immortal snorted. Immortal Fox chuckled. With a wave of his hand, Nine-Tailed Fox walked out from behind him. "Disciple, tell me about the Hidden Emperor's Star." The Nine-Tailed Fox told him about the Hidden Emperor's Star. When Ghost Immortal heard this, his expression changed. "Both of my disciples are dead." He was really too shocked. The reason for that was because he had immediately returned after receiving the news. He had not even returned to the 10,000 Ghosts Fairy Palace. He really didn't know what happened to his two disciples. However, he now knew that his little disciple, young Master Gui, had died in the Hidden Emperor's Star. Following that, his first disciple, the Six-Fingered Ghost Master, gathered all of the strength of the myriad Ghosts Fairy Palace. He created a group of fake emperors and joined forces with Nine-Tailed Fox and the others to kill their way over. But even so, he still died. Those fake emperors all fell, and the Six-Fingered Ghost Master was also killed. "How did you escape? Did you hit someone when they were down?" Ghost Immortal snorted and stared at Nine-Tailed Fox. Suddenly, immortal power erupted from his body. Nine-Tailed Fox felt that the sky was about to collapse. "Master, save me." Immortal Fox snorted and waved his sleeve, blocking Ghost Immortal's attack. "Are you not putting me in your eyes?" "Old Ghost, my disciple has already said that he couldn't save me at the last moment. It was only because he was lucky that he was able to come back alive. Moreover, he had brought back important information." "What is it? Let's talk about it." The virtual immortal also frowned. This time, several land immortals gathered together. Immortal Fox hadn't said anything, so they really didn't know. Immortal Fox said, "Very important information. Saber Immortal, this is my credit. You have to testify for me." Saber Immortal nodded and said, "No problem. Tell me." Immortal Fox then said, "First, there are ruins left behind by two ancient gods in the Hidden Emperor's Star. What is in the extreme south and the extreme north, I don't know for the time being. However, it is confirmed that it is an ancient god. Second, Lin Wudi is back. He is not dead. He is still alive. He has the power of an immortal." The first news was actually nothing. The Hidden Emperor's Star was not the only place with treasures. Therefore, the land immortals weren't very surprised. However, the second news made their expressions change. "What? Lin Wudi is not dead? Did he come back from the land of destiny? Did he really completely control the power of an immortal?" These land immortals' expressions became incomparably solemn. One had to know that they all participated in the battle 100 years ago. That battle was extremely terrifying. On the side of the Divine Union, many experts appeared. In the end, the Supreme Elder made a move. But now he failed. Not only did he not kill the other party, but the other party also condensed the power of an immortal. According to my disciple's information, he can use the power of an immortal without any restrictions. He has just become an emperor 100 years ago, and his strength is not weaker than a super great emperor. In addition, he has a trump card in his hand. He is stronger than an ordinary super great emperor. This person is very amazing. Once he breaks through again and becomes a super great emperor, I am afraid that he will be able to threaten us. The land immortals frowned. The power of an immortal? At present, it seemed that he only had unparalleled combat strength. However, who knew if there were any other uses? After all, the other party was the first person to condense this power. The Saber Immortal said, "Then let's hurry and report to the Supreme Elder." In fact, this could be considered a blessing in disguise. That kid came back before the heavenly punishment destroyed the world. He can't escape. He will definitely die in this heavenly punishment. Yes, everyone nodded. Indeed, the heavenly punishment this time wasn't targeted at one person. It directly activated the power of the heavenly Tao. The land immortals discussed, and then flew into the distance. They wanted to meet the Supreme Elder. Nine-tailed Fox and the others stayed behind. On the other side, Lin Zhan, Lord Alcohol, and the others returned to Shangqing City. What's going on? Is the heavenly punishment really going to destroy the world? The news from Lord Shenyuan shouldn't be fake. Let's go to the Hidden Emperor's star. If the heavenly punishment is really going to destroy the world, I'm afraid it will be troublesome. We didn't prepare for this at all. Lord Alcohol said with a frown, if they could escape this time and not die, the Supreme Elder wouldn't be able to make a move again in a short period of time. This was a good thing for them. However, could they escape this time? All of this was unknown. It was better to go to the Hidden Emperor's star and meet Lord Shenyuan first. Lin Zhan and the others set off for the Hidden Emperor's star. At the same time, the people of the Hidden Emperor's star also gathered. The Divine Union and the others were all asking Lin Xian what had happened. However, Lin Xian didn't know either. Fortunately, on this day, a few terrifying auras came from the sky. Although they were very hidden, Lin Xian still sensed them immediately. It was his father and Lord Alcohol. He released his immortal power. In the sky, Lin Zhan and Lord Alcohol stopped. This power was Xian Er's. Chapter 62:03. Lin Zhan and Lord Alcohol came to the Divine Union to meet Lin Xian. The three of them were very excited. It was great that Lin Xian could come back alive. How was the power of the gods? Lin Xian didn't have time to talk about the specific things that happened in the land of destiny. He could only say that the power of the gods was temporarily stable, but he had to go again in 400 years. Oh, right, there was no news about it yet, but he might be able to get it the next time he went. He could go again. This surprised Lin Zhan and Lord Alcohol. One must know that it was as difficult as ascending to the heavens for others to go to the land of destiny. It was practically impossible. However, Lin Xian not only went once, but he could also go again. It was really surprising. However, Lin Zhan frowned tightly. Let's not talk about this for now. It's good that you're back now. Come with me to see Lord Shenyuan. Oh, right. Father, I wanted to ask, is the Divine Union very dangerous? Let's talk as we walk. Lin Zhan and Lord Alcohol soared into the sky and brought Lin Xian to the slanting moon cave. They were very fast and soon arrived at the slanting moon cave. After entering, they came to the Bodhi tree. Under this Bodhi tree, the fighting god used to sit cross-legged. However, the fighting god wasn't there now. Lord Shenyuan and Lin Xian didn't see him on Dragon Mountain either. That was because they were in another space. However, Lord Shenyuan's voice was heard. Heaven's punishment is about to start. This matter can be confirmed. There's not much time left for you. Make your preparations. Lin Zhan and Lord Alcohol's expressions changed. Is this by crazy? Isn't the price to pay to activate the power of heaven's punishment? Lord Xianyuan said. Perhaps the Grand Supreme lost face in the previous battle. You have to know how powerful he was in the past. Therefore, I reckon that after that battle, he will attack without caring about anything else. I didn't expect it to be heaven's punishment. Lin Zhan said, we won't become primes. Let's resist directly. Fortunately, we attacked Shangqing City. The earth veins there are extremely terrifying. With the addition of the great dragon sword soul, the reincarnation sword fragment, and the power of the devouring sword, he should be able to withstand it, right? That will be an extremely difficult process. I'm afraid you'll have to suffer. Moreover, it was impossible for Shangqing City to contain everyone. The myriad realms were about to be destroyed again. The atmosphere became extremely heavy all of a sudden. Lin Xian, on the other hand, asked, what is Tian Fa destroying the world? He still didn't know. Lord Alcohol said, the heavenly punishment annihilation is an extremely terrifying attack that covers all realms. The Nirvana Heavenly Tao had once transformed into the Heavenly Tao. They were high above and controlled everything. Moreover, they had the complete Heavenly Punishment Sword. If it was cast by the Grand Supreme, it would be the Lightning Tribulation. Endless lightning tribulations. Most likely, the martial emperors and those above them would have to face the lightning tribulations. The boundless tribulation and the heavenly punishment could destroy the world. It was very likely that all those above the martial monarch realm would be killed. Even land immortals can't avoid it. It was unavoidable. Great emperors, super great emperors, and earth immortals were all within the attack range. Even if the earth immortal didn't die, he would be severely injured. Little guy, do you still remember the first time we met? My aura was very weak. Back then, I was severely injured by the heavenly punishment annihilation. That time, I almost died. I didn't expect to face it again this time. I wonder if I can avoid it. It's so dangerous. After Lin Xian heard this, he sucked in a breath of cold air. Even Lord Alcohol wasn't confident. Then there was no need to talk about the others. Was there no chance at all? How could the people of the Nirvana Heavenly Tao resist it? There was still a chance. The people of the Nirvana Heavenly Tao wouldn't be attacked because it was launched by the Nirvana Heavenly Tao. Therefore, some martial emperors could avoid the heavenly punishment annihilation if they joined the Nirvana Heavenly Tao. Of course, if they joined at this time, they wouldn't be martial emperors anymore. They would be slaves, prisoners. What awaited them was a fate worse than death. There was another way, and that was to sever one's own blade and destroy the divine fire and immortal chi to retain the body of a martial emperor. However, their cultivation level would fall below the martial emperor, which is the martial emperor you saw before. Those martial emperors had all experienced the great destruction. Back then, they had no choice but to be controlled by the Nirvana Heavenly Tao. Therefore, they chose to destroy the divine fire and immortal chi. Could they not take the step? Lin Xian asked. I remember that they seemed to be able to recover to their peak. Lin Zhan said, even if they recover to their peak, it's useless. It's basically impossible for them to become earth immortals. After Lin Xian heard this, he frowned. It seems that this path can't be taken. Is there anything else? Lin Zhan said, yes, resist and fight with the divine punishment. If they could persist, they would continue to resist. If they couldn't, they would die. This was the most direct and simple method. Of course, it was also the most difficult method. Lord Alcohol said, we plan to use this method. Now we have an advantage. This time, we can condense the power of the devouring sword, the reincarnation sword, and the divine punishment sword. Although it's not complete, its power is still terrifying. In addition, you have the power of an immortal and the earth veins of Shangqing City. You might be able to avoid this crisis. At this moment, Xianyuan spoke again. Hurry up and act. I will get the war god to take the reincarnation mountain. Lin Xian was surprised. Lord Shenyuan, are we still going to fight back? Shenyuan snorted coldly. Of course. You don't have to worry about this. I'll handle it. I've already jumped out of the divine punishment. This time, it can't hurt me. Then, Lin Xian and the others left. They returned to the divine union first and took away the crimson dragon, Xueqi, and the others. As for the others, they shouldn't be in any danger. After all, the divine punishment this time was targeted at Thearchs and those above them. They took away all the powers above the Thearchs. Lin Xian told these people, don't try to break through to the Tao validation realm in the near future. The people from the Thearchs families were shocked. They still didn't understand what had happened. However, they knew that an extremely terrifying thing was about to happen. Lin Zhan even warned these Thearchs families to put their extreme grade weapons into hibernation and not to use them for the time being. After all, the aura of the extreme grade surpassed everything. It was a weapon of the Thearchs. It would be bad if it attracted the divine punishment. Let's go. The group left. At the same time, the Permitha also started to take action. The 5 Earth Immortals met the Grand Supreme together. At this moment, they couldn't reach the Grand Supreme at all. This was because the place where the Grand Supreme was surrounded by endless lightning. Those red lightning had an aura that could destroy heaven and earth, causing the 5 Earth Immortals' expressions to become extremely solemn. They could only bow respectfully across an endless distance. They told the Grand Supreme all the information about their previous battle achievements. The Grand Supreme said in a deep voice, "Next, it's time to harvest." 3 days later, the divine punishment will be launched. The target is quasi-emperors and above. The few Earth Immortals outside gasped when they heard this. Even the quasi-emperors were affected. This was too surprising. This was because the previous time the divine punishment had launched, the target was Thearchs and above. The quasi-emperors were still alive. But now, even the quasi-emperors were targeted by the divine punishment. Soon, they all laughed. It seemed that the Grand Supreme was really angry this time. This time, he would let the myriad worlds know what despair was. Chapter 6204. There was a mountain range in the heavenly land. It was surrounded by clouds and mist, and the scenery was beautiful. It was a rare, holy land for cultivation. However, it had become the territory of the Heavenly Phoenix clan. In this golden age, great emperors from different eras had appeared. The heavenly land was no longer a secret. Many great emperors cultivated and searched for treasures there. However, no one dared to come to this mountain range. It was enough to show how terrifying the Heavenly Phoenix clan was. The Heavenly Phoenix clan had appeared recently. In fact, everyone in the deity plane knew about them. This was because when they obtained the Heaven-Earth mysterious yellow pagoda, 2 clans flew out from it. One was the Heavenly Phoenix clan. The other was the Kuan clan. After the Kuan clan came out, they left the heavenly land. At this moment, a deep voice sounded in the Heavenly Phoenix clan. As soon as this voice was heard, the entire Heavenly Phoenix clan was alarmed. Many people's bodies swayed, and their faces turned pale. What happened? The people of the Heavenly Phoenix clan gathered. What were they looking for? However, when they found the reason, they were all stunned. In their Heavenly Phoenix clan, there was an extremely terrifying divine artifact. It was a sword, the Heavenly Phoenix ancient sword. This sword was related to one of their ancestors back in the day. It was said that it was refined from the most terrifying bone of their ancestor. This was the symbol of the Heavenly Phoenix clan. However, today, they found a crack on the Heavenly Phoenix ancient sword. Although it was small, it was enough to shock them. The divine object of the Heavenly Phoenix clan was broken. It was unimaginable. Some elders of the Heavenly Phoenix clan exclaimed. A few great emperors frowned. Even the current clan leader of the Heavenly Phoenix clan came out of seclusion. She was a dignified woman with a pair of phoenix eyes that looked disdainfully at the world. Clan leader. The experts of the Heavenly Phoenix clan all looked over. One of the great emperors said, "Clan leader, the Heavenly Phoenix ancient sword is broken." The clan leader of the Heavenly Phoenix clan stared ahead for a while. After pondering for a long time, she finally sighed. She said, "The apocalypse is coming. I didn't expect the Heavenly Phoenix clan to be in such danger. If I had known, I wouldn't have come out of the heaven-earth mysterious yellow pagoda." Clan leader, why do you say that? We were trapped in the heaven-earth profound yellow pagoda for tens of thousands of years. Yes, I don't want to go back either. Neither the great emperors nor the young geniuses wanted to be trapped again. Patriarch, what is Armageddon? My Heavenly Wind clan is extremely powerful, and we even have a few great sovereigns. Why should we be afraid of them? This was a calamity for great emperors. When the heavenly tribulation arrived, how many great emperors would be able to survive? No one knew. Prepare for the funeral. At this moment, this dignified woman actually had white hair. One could imagine how much despair she felt. On the other side, in the ninth underworld, a powerful clan had also been established. It was the Kuan clan. The Earth Kuan clan loved to devour the corpses of experts. After they came to the ninth underworld, they searched all the way and devoured the corpses of many powerhouses. His strength was growing stronger and stronger. In their family, there was a black cauldron, which was the symbol of their family. They wanted to use this black cauldron to contain the countless corpses in the world. However, on that day, a crack appeared on the cauldron. No, he actually encountered a heavenly tribulation? That was impossible. The Kuan clan's patriarch roared crazily. He couldn't believe that his luck was so bad. He had just escaped from the heaven-earth mystic yellow pagoda, and he actually encountered a heavenly tribulation that was rarely seen in a million years. Damn it, I want to break through. I want to devour countless great emperors' corpses. I want to become a land immortal. At this moment, the Kuan clan's patriarch roared crazily. His entire clan attacked crazily on this day, because no one knew how long it would take for the heavenly tribulation to arrive. He had to hurry. After the first day, many powerhouses in the ninth underworld had fallen. When the second day arrived, some of the great emperors in the ninth underworld frowned. There was a sense of uneasiness in their hearts. This kind of uneasiness was indescribable. However, it made them extremely concerned. Was something going to happen? At their level of cultivation, it wasn't a problem for them to live for hundreds of thousands of years. However, they were now worried about their lives. It wasn't just the ninth underworld. The powerhouses in the upper heavens and the other realms were all worried at this moment. In the Supreme Palace, the eyelids of many Supremes twitched wildly. They hurriedly looked for the Grim Reaper to resolve their doubts. The Grim Reaper's face was cold. Impossible, right? Was it the heavenly tribulation? Was Bayan crazy? He hurriedly summoned the Supremes in the Supreme Palace and asked, "How many of you have broken the seal?" The answer he got was that more than half of the Supremes had broken the seal and returned to their peak. After all, this was a golden age, and everyone wanted to do their best. Damn it, the Grim Reaper cursed fiercely. It seemed that more than half of the people were going to die, and he was also in danger. On the God Realm side, Lin Xian and the others had already arrived at Upper Azure City. Lin Xian used the Great Dragon Sword Soul and took out 2 fragments of the Samsara Sword. Lord Alcohol also used all his strength to activate the Devouring Sword. The power of 3 of the 5 swords in the world surrounded Upper Azure City. Then he activated the power of the Earth Fane. Upper Azure City was impregnable. It could be said to be the most solid place in the world. Would the heavenly tribulation really come? Xue Qi looked into the distance. Morong Qingcheng And Yenryu also came because they had also broken through to the Great Emperor realm. After learning about the heavenly punishment, they were also surprised. The warriors below the Great Emperor realm still didn't understand. They could only feel that the aura of many great emperors seemed to have disappeared in a day. Could it be that they had all gone into seclusion to cultivate? Some people cheered. It seemed that there wouldn't be another emperor-level battle in the near future. It would usher in a safe period. They would be able to cultivate quickly. Would it be the world of the young people next? Countless geniuses were excited. The second day passed. The third day arrived. On this day, the heavenly supreme Nirvana opened his eyes. The heavenly tribulation came. He waved his hands, and the heavenly punishment sword flew out. Countless lightning bolts covered the world. At the same time, his voice spread throughout the universe. Boom. As this voice was heard, countless thunderous noises echoed throughout the cosmos. The entire void kept shattering. Countless living beings and warriors looked up at the sky. Their faces were full of shock. What happened? Was someone going to transcend the tribulation? There was a great emperor on the heavenly snake planet. This was a rare beast that had broken through to the great emperor realm. It was called the heavenly snake, great emperor. At this moment, the heavenly snake, great emperor, also opened his eyes. He soared into the sky and roared, "Who dares to behave atrociously in my world?" No one answered him. Only endless lightning bolts descended and pierced through his body. With a scream, the heavenly snake, great emperor's body split open, and his blood dyed the sky red. A great emperor had fallen, and his blood had riddled the entire heavenly snake planet with holes. Chapter 6205. Sky's Saber Valley. It was made up of 5 worlds, and the master of this world was called the Sky Saber Sovereign. His strength was extremely terrifying. He had once split open a world with a single saber. He had never lost a battle of the same level. He could be said to be a super powerhouse. When he felt the power of the lightning tribulation descending from the sky, the Sky Saber Sovereign naturally resisted immediately. "I have a saber that can break the world." Dazzling saber light swept across the world, completely splitting open the void. He actually split open a lightning bolt. One had to admit that his saber technique was extremely terrifying. However, what awaited him was not one lightning bolt, but thousands of lightning bolts. One after another, they fell continuously. After the Sky Saber Sovereign split open 3 lightning bolts, he was pierced by the 4th. One of his arms turned into a bloody mist after being struck by the thunderbolt. Then his other arm, his torso, and his head were all hit. He was beaten into a bloody mist. The other saber artists in the Sky Saber Valley were so frightened that they knelt on the ground, dead, the godlike existence in their eyes. The Sky Saber Sovereign had died just like that. They dared not imagine. The Sky Snake Emperor and the Sky Saber Sovereign were not the only exceptions. In the universe, there were great emperor-level figures falling constantly. They fled, they tore open the void, and headed for the high heavens. However, they found that there were still terrifying lightning bolts descending from the high heavens. They went down to the 9th underworld. However, they still could not escape. In the end, there was even a great emperor who asked, "Why? What kind of power is this? Why do you want to kill me? I have already become a great emperor. I can live forever." There was no answer, only destruction. After that great emperor let out a desperate roar, he turned into ashes. At this moment, all the martial artists in the universe were stunned. It was not that there were no great emperors falling. In the previous battles, many great emperors had fallen. However, those battles were so tragic. Each time, it was a legendary battle that could be talked about for countless years. However, what were the great emperors like now? They were mercilessly killed like ants. What kind of expert was doing this? Was it a land immortal? However, even a land immortal could not be so terrifying, right? Not long after, the first super great emperor fell. The super martial monarch had been running away from the Skyland, but he was killed the moment he left the Skyland. The universe's starry sky had already been dyed red by the great emperor's blood. The surrounding worlds could not withstand it and began to crack. Mountains and rivers shattered, and cities collapsed. Some of the weaker ones were directly torn apart by the bloody aura. Doomsday had arrived. Everyone was in despair. The people from the hidden Emperor's star were also trembling with fear. Was this the heavenly punishment that Lin Xian and the others had mentioned? Previously they didn't understand, but at this moment they understood. The members of the Divine Union were worried. They didn't know how Lin Xian, Xueqi, and the others were doing. Quickly joined hands to block it. In the 9 serenities, some great emperors quickly gathered. Among them, the experts of the Earth-Kuan race shouted angrily. They summoned many great emperors to resist together. However, it was still useless. Although they could resist for a moment, once they ran out of energy, they would not be able to hold on any longer. The lightning would mercilessly pierce through them. In the blink of an eye, half of the people died in front of them. What to do? What to do? This was the question on everyone's mind. What should they do? The people from the Supreme Palace didn't escape either. Some of the Supremes had broken their seals and recovered to their peak. They could no longer be called Supremes. They became great emperors again. Originally, they were very happy to have recovered their peak strength. However, now that the heavenly tribulation had arrived, they had nowhere to hide. Reseal? However, they could no longer do so. The divine flames on their bodies could no longer be extinguished after being reignited, unless they died. Within a single day, 5 Supremes from the Supremes who had broken their seals had died, and it was still continuing. The Supremes who hadn't broken their seals secretly heaved a sigh of relief. It seemed that they had avoided a calamity by not attacking with their full strength previously. The others roared crazily. Quickly, ask the Grim Reaper for help. Please, the Grim Reaper. Help! They had just finished crying when they heard a roar. The Grim Reaper soared into the sky. Beside him, there were also countless lightning bolts that chased after him. This was too much. The Grim Reaper roared, and the death scythe in his hand flew out. He was also fighting against the heavenly punishment. The people from the Supreme Palace were stunned. Even the Earth Immortals couldn't avoid it. Run! They began to flee. But where could they escape to? Whether it was the myriad worlds, the immortal land, the netherworld, or the heavenly land, there were heavenly tribulations everywhere. There was nowhere to run. Countless people in the star world were in despair. They saw the great emperors who were high and mighty in their eyes, falling from the sky. Those were all corpses, the corpses of the great emperors. What kind of power was this? Even the great emperors couldn't survive. The people from the otherworld immortals sneered as they watched all this coldly. A day later, the Saber Immortal said, "It's about time to start." They are already terrified. The next moment, he said loudly, "I'll give you a chance. Submit to the otherworld immortals, and you can live." When the great emperors who were still fleeing heard this, a glimmer of hope ignited in their hearts. Could the otherworld immortals live? We are willing to join the otherworld immortals. And me, for a moment, many great emperors said, "Please save us." The Saber Immortal said coldly, "Yes, from now on, you will be the slaves of the otherworld immortals. If I let you live, you can't die. If I let you die, you can't even frown." Slaves? Those great emperors were all dumbfounded. Are you kidding? They joined the otherworld immortals as subordinates, but they weren't slaves. Who were they? They were all strong masters of the same era. Even now, those who could become great emperors were as rare as phoenix feathers and unicorn horns. Such people were so high and mighty. How could they become slaves? If they didn't want to, then they could only wait for death. After the saber immortal finished speaking, he stopped talking. Then more and more great emperors fell. Finally, someone couldn't help but say, I'm willing. I'm willing to be a slave as long as I can live. Very well. An aura dropped from the sky. Give me your soul, and you can live. That great emperor had no choice. His body was already full of cracks. If he didn't give up his soul, he would die without a doubt. He could only reluctantly give up his soul in the dazzling saber light. The next moment, he felt that his life didn't belong to him anymore. However, the saber light took him away. You can live now. Seeing this scene, some people began to waver. Dignity or life, which was more important? Of course, not everyone was willing to become a slave. For example, the Heavenly Phoenix clan. At this moment, the clan leader of the Heavenly Phoenix clan roared, all great emperors, listen up, destroy the divine fire in your body. Become supremes. From now on, hide in seclusion and live. Wait for the heavenly tribulation to end. After the great emperors of the Heavenly Phoenix clan heard this, their eyes were filled with despair. Although they could live after becoming supremes, the price of living was too great. Even if they recovered to their peak again, their lives would be shortened. However, their lives would most likely be reduced. Moreover, could their strength really reach its peak? They weren't sure. Moreover, after they recovered, it would be difficult for them to improve again. It was many times more difficult than ordinary great emperors. I can't care so much. I want you all to live. The Heavenly Phoenix clan leader roared. She took the lead to destroy the divine fire in her body. Chapter 62:06. There were quite a number of people who had become supremes with the annihilation divine fire and immortal chi. Of course, there was another type which was to resist it. For example, these people from the deity realm. Among them, Upper Azure City was attacked by countless lightning bolts. These lightning bolts formed a huge hand of destruction that kept attacking. Every attack was earth-shattering, and Upper Azure City shook violently. However, 3 sword chi flew out and enveloped the entire Upper Azure City. Not only were there 3 sword chi, but there were also 3 types of sword chi. It was the power of the Great Dragon Sword, Reincarnation Sword, and Devouring World Sword. At this moment, they could still resist it. However, no one in Upper Azure City dared to be careless. The current heavenly punishment was sweeping across the universe. When most of the other great emperors in the later universe had fallen, it would probably focus its energy on attacking them. No one knew how long this heavenly punishment would last. However, everyone was prepared to resist it forever. There were great emperors and super great emperors who had fallen. There was even news that an Earth immortal in the 9 underworlds had been severely injured. When this news came out, the universe was even more shocked. Earth immortals were existences that surpassed great emperors. They were true immortals in the eyes of everyone. They were high and mighty, and they were immortal. But now, even an Earth immortal couldn't hold on. Everyone was in despair. At the critical moment, the deity realm spoke up and united everyone to fight against the Permitha. In an instant, many great emperors joined the deity realm. Moreover, there was another thing that made people feel even more despair. That was boundary emperors. After the Earth immortal was injured, there was news that boundary emperors had also begun to fall. Those lightning bolts had actually started to attack boundary emperors. In an instant, countless people were in despair. Were people below the great emperor also being attacked? The hidden emperor's star was the same. On the divine union's side, boundary emperors had fallen. The Yi family, Gu family, Phoenix race, and Qilin race all had boundary emperors fall. This made them all despair. Firstly, there were more boundary emperors than great emperors. Moreover, this time, the boundary emperor didn't retreat at all. He wasn't even mentally prepared. Was he going to fall just like that? It wasn't just the buried emperor's star. Boundary emperors from all the realms were also beginning to fall. Everyone was in despair. Is there no hope left? It seemed that only those below the boundary emperor level were safe. Of course, this kind of safety was relative, although there was no heavenly punishment attack. However, once the blood of a martial monarch landed on them, they would be turned into ashes. It could be said that this was a disaster for the entire universe. The people of the hidden emperor's star were almost in despair. Many remote antiquity families had been destroyed, and the divine union was on the verge of collapse. But at this moment, at this critical moment, an aura came from the depths of the Gu family. It was the aura of the Void Emperor. The battle robe of the Void shone brightly as it landed on Gu Santong's body. Gu Santong's expression was solemn. With a shout, he split open the sky with both hands. A huge crack immediately appeared on the ground. This crack was directly connected to the universe. Could he leave? The others were watching nervously. They thought that the Gu family wanted to open a spatial tunnel and escape. But where could he escape to? However, they guessed wrong. The Gu family did not construct a spatial tunnel. Instead, they were summoning something from the depths of the universe. In the depths of the universe, in the boundless darkness, a ray of light emerged. It turned out to be an eye, an incomparably huge eye. The power of space on it was extremely terrifying. It tore open the void and descended towards the hidden emperor's star. The speed of this eye was extremely fast. It did not take long for it to arrive above the hidden emperor's star. Then the eye looked into the distance, and endless lightning bolts shot towards the crack. What was this? Countless people were shocked. The Yi family's patriarch exclaimed, "Could it be the eye of the Void Emperor?" It appeared. It was the eye of the Void. The people of the Gu family were also shocked. The Void Emperor had really left behind such a method. During the previous battle, the Yi family's heavenly emperor, Phantom, had appeared. The spirit mark of the devouring emperor had also appeared. However, the Gu family's Void Emperor had not appeared. Now, the power of the Void Emperor had finally appeared. It was an Eye of the Void. The appearance of this Eye of the Void had temporarily protected the quasi-emperors of the hidden Emperor's star. Suddenly, everyone heaved a sigh of relief. They discussed for a while and decided to head to Shangqing City. They could not care about the people of the other worlds. However, they planned to bring the quasi-emperors of the hidden Emperor's star with them to Shangqing City. After all, there were many quasi-emperors in the Divine Union. For example, Bai Susu, the Toad, and the others were all quasi-emperors. After making a decision, they started to head to Shangqing City with the help of this Eye of the Void. This time, even the quasi-emperors had left. The hidden emperor star no longer had any power surpassing the great sage. When this Eye of the Void arrived at Shangqing City, it had already become dim and was about to shatter. Fortunately, the people in Shangqing City also noticed this. Why didn't I come? The power of the void. Lin Xian was surprised. Is it the Gu family? Lord Alcohol quickly used the devouring sword to form a vortex and swallowed these people. After entering, they asked, "Why are you here?" The Toad said, "You scared me to death." Even the quasi-emperors kept falling. Fortunately, we have the power of the Void Emperor on our side. Otherwise, we would all be dead. What? The quasi-emperors were also attacked. The people in Shangqing City were shocked. They really did not know about this news. Damn it. The Crimson Dragon gritted his teeth. The Bayan is really ruthless. The Golden Lion King is also full of murderous intent. I'm afraid the myriad worlds will suffer a serious blow. We have to get rid of the Bayan, otherwise the universe will never be peaceful. For a moment, everyone fell silent. Following that, they exerted all their strength to resist the attack. During this period, some other great emperors came and joined the divine realm to resist together. In the blink of an eye, a month passed. In this month, the people in the universe seemed to have experienced 10,000 years. It was too long. Every day, they spent in fear and despair. A month later, except for the Bai and the divine realm, there were no other great emperors in the world. The figures of the great emperors had disappeared. Those who resisted tenaciously were already dead. They either destroyed their divine fire and immortal chi and became supreme, or they had already joined the Bai-in, or they had joined the divine realm. Other than that, there were no other great emperors or quasi-emperors in the starry sky of the universe. Countless people were terrified and desperate. The people of the Bai-in laughed. This time, we finally know who is the king of the universe, right? Some of the great emperors who joined the Bai and also breathed a sigh of relief. Although they had become slaves, they were finally able to survive. Some people sighed in their hearts. It was said that after becoming a great emperor, one could live forever. But now they knew that it was easy to live forever, but difficult to not die. Next, they no longer attacked the great emperors, but the land immortals. Of course, there was another place, and that was Shangqing City. Shangqing City was now under more and more terrifying lightning attacks. In the sky, hundreds of lightning hands formed and kept slapping down. Every time, it could destroy the world. The people in Shangqing City were also terrified. No one knew when their city would be breached. Chapter 6207. In Shangqing City, there were many new faces. These were all new people who had just joined. After these people came in, they first recuperated and then fought with all their might because they knew that Shangqing City was their last hope. They hated the Higan Heavenly King very much. Originally, they had no grudges with the Higan Heavenly King. All they sought was a higher realm. However, the Higan Heavenly King disregarded everything and directly attacked them. If they didn't submit and become slaves, they would be killed. These people were really mad with anger. They only wanted to avoid this heavenly tribulation and then kill their way to the Higan Heavenly King with the divine realm. Lin Xian and the others kept urging the power of the great dragon sword spirit and the other two sword chi. Lin Xian's face was also pale. A month of continuous resistance had consumed a lot of his energy. Fortunately, he wasn't fighting alone now. Everyone, hold on a little longer. Soon, we will counterattack, Lord Alcohol said in a deep voice. Although that was the case, there were still many people who didn't quite believe it. Was there really someone who could compete with the Higan Heavenly King? This heavenly tribulation covered the entire universe. No one could avoid it. What kind of power could resist it? They didn't know. However, 5 days later, the divine realm really showed its power. Between heaven and earth, a figure blooming with golden light flew quickly. It was the fighting god. His statue-like body was now blooming with endless light, as if thousands of suns had fallen on his body. At the same time, there was a mountain beside him. It wasn't very tall. It wasn't big, but it was filled with a mysterious aura. Reincarnation Mountain. The fighting god brought the Reincarnation Mountain to the hidden Emperor Star. Xian Yuan said, "I will take care of the rest. Go to Shangqing City." However, the fighting god shook his head. "No need. If I go there, I will attract a lot of heavenly tribulation. I will still stay under the Bodhi tree and comprehend the Tao. I have already embarked on that path. I have to continue walking. I can't turn back. The rest is up to you." After saying that, the fighting god returned to the Bodhi tree again. The golden light on his body disappeared. As for Sun Qiqian, he had already been sent to Shangqing City. He had no worries. After being petrified, the fighting god silently resisted the heavenly tribulation that filled the sky. As for Xian Yuan, he condensed sword qi, grabbed the Reincarnation Mountain, and flew into the universe. The heavenly tribulations ignored his power. This was because Xian Yuan had once said that he had jumped out of the heavenly tribulation. The reincarnation mountain shone brilliantly between heaven and earth, scattering its radiance towards the other shore. The people of the otherworld heavenly king were very proud of themselves. This was because they felt that they were the kings of the universe and that they could destroy and create everything. However, on this day, the entire Prometheus shook violently. They discovered that a large hand of sword Qi was flying over with a small mountain peak. Was he courting death? When the heavenly tribulation covered the entire universe, would anyone still dare to attack? Stop! Die for me! Two great emperors flew out and attacked with terrifying immortal Qi. However, it was useless. As the reincarnation mountain descended, the souls of the two great emperors were sucked into it. They screamed as their souls disappeared. What happened? The faces of the other experts in the Nirvana realm changed when they saw this. All of them retreated in fear. The great emperors who had just joined and become slaves were also shocked. No way! Is the Nirvana realm not safe anymore? Where else can we go in this world? The reincarnation mountain fell heavily on the Nirvana realm. The power of reincarnation completely erupted. Many people's souls were sucked into it. They screamed in pain as they were reincarnated. Leave. A furious roar came from afar. It was the saber immortal. He had made his move. He slashed down with his saber. The sharp saber light seemed to be able to split heaven and earth as it hit the reincarnation mountain. However, the reincarnation mountain was too strange. How did it form? It only shook a little. Everyone was shocked. The saber immortal was a land immortal. He was extremely powerful. Moreover, he cultivated an immortal technique. Among the land immortals, he was an extremely terrifying existence, who could withstand his saber strike. However, this inconspicuous mountain peak blocked it. It was the reincarnation mountain. The divine realm had launched a counterattack. The virtual immortal, ghost immortal, and the others also appeared in the sky. Their expressions became solemn. Retreat! Defend! The people of the Nirvana realm quickly took action. At this moment, the giant hand formed by sword Qi suddenly waved fiercely. Immediately, the reincarnation mountain was shattered. The power of reincarnation inside completely erupted and swept in all directions like an ocean. Some of the slower ones were enveloped by the power. Immediately, their souls disappeared, and they were reincarnated. One figure after another fell from the Nirvana realm. This scene was extremely shocking. No, I don't want to die. The three great emperors had just sacrificed their souls and became slaves. They had not had time to recover from their injuries. In the end, they were hit by the power of the reincarnation mountain. Their souls disappeared and were destroyed. The people of the Nirvana realm were the same. Step back. I'll do it. The Grand Supreme's voice sounded. Then another palm reached out from afar and slapped over fiercely, sending the power of reincarnation flying. The next moment, the Grand Supreme said coldly, Xian Yuan, do you want to die? I've already jumped out of the reincarnation. You can't hurt me. Xuan Yuan's voice sounded in the sky. I can't hurt you, but what about the others? They're still in the reincarnation cycle. Since you dare to use the universe tribulation, I'll use reincarnation. I'll let the Nirvana realm know what pain is. I'll save you from using such a crazy method to kill the common people. Boom. The sword Qi hand waved again. At this moment, the reincarnation mountain formed between heaven and earth again. Not only that, but there were 6 more worlds around it. That was the 6 paths of reincarnation. The people of the Nirvana realm continued to be attacked. They were frantic and terrified. Even Master Rashi and the other Earth immortals felt their scalps go numb. They originally thought that the celestial realm didn't have much power left, They didn't expect that they could still use their trump card to deal with them. Did I miscalculate? The Grand Supreme roared. He could only block the Reincarnation Mountain from the core area. At the same time, he roared and continued to activate the power of the divine punishment to chase after the people of the celestial realm. Let's see who can hold on first. In the next 3 months, Upper Azure City was constantly shaking. There were several times when the city's defenses were almost broken. However, everyone gritted their teeth and didn't hesitate to burn their divine fire and immortal chi to block the attacks. It was the same for the Nirvana realm. The power of the Reincarnation Mountain continued to erupt. The 6 paths of reincarnation killed many people. Among them, many great emperors died. This time, the Nirvana realm was really frightened. They once thought that they were the kings of the universe, high and mighty, and that they could control the fate of others. But they didn't expect that someone could threaten them. If this continued, the Nirvana realm would suffer great losses. Even if they won, they would lose 800 of their own. What was the Reincarnation Mountain? Some of the geniuses of the Nirvana realm went crazy. The Sword Immortal said the Reincarnation Sword was broken back then. Half of it turned into the Reincarnation Mountain. It turned out to be like this. Everyone was in despair. No wonder it was so terrifying. Chapter 6208. In the blink of an eye, a year had passed. Whether it was the God realm or the Nirvana realm, it was very painful. However, the attacks from both sides never stopped. The people in the other worlds in the universe were also very careful. They didn't even dare to breathe loudly now, let alone cross the starry sky. One by one, they returned to their families and secluded themselves. Now, not a single great emperor could be seen outside. The quasi-emperors had also disappeared. It seemed that everything had returned to the scene before the deity ground descended. Before the deity ground descended, the great saints were the most terrifying existences. Even if there were quasi-emperors, there were very few of them. They were all at the patriarch level and wouldn't appear at all. Now, they had returned to the starting point. It seemed that they had completed a reincarnation. They could still feel the power of the heavenly thunder in the sky. They wondered when these days would end. In the blink of an eye, 10 years had passed. In these 10 years, the universe had quieted down. Many worlds had become dim. The thunder between heaven and earth was still there. This Nirvana thunder tribulation targeted the entire universe, and the reincarnation of the God realm only targeted the Nirvana realm, although it was only half of the reincarnation sword. The power of this attack was extremely terrifying. Just when everyone thought that this matter would continue, a voice sounded in the universe. A voice sounded in the universe. The heavens are virtuous. I will give you a chance. Whose voice was it? The creatures in the universe were stunned. Their faces were filled with confusion. In Qingcheng, Lin Xian, and the others were also shocked. Was it Grand Supreme's voice? However, the Golden Lion King and the others shook their heads. No, it wasn't Grand Supreme's voice. It wasn't Lord Xuanyuan's voice either. Whose voice was it? Even Lord Alcohol, Lin Zhan, and the others were shocked. At the same time, the Nirvana realm was also confused. Fox, Immortal, Ghost, Immortal, and the others frowned. This voice was filled with extremely terrifying power, making their souls feel uneasy. Grand Supreme suddenly stood up. Lightning surrounded his body, as if he was the god of thunder who controlled the world. At this moment, lightning burst out from his eyes as he looked at the endless universe. On the other side, even the fighting god, who had been silently cultivating, opened his eyes. His fiery golden eyes flickered. The mysterious Xuanyuan opened his mouth. He only said 2 words, "Immortal." That's right, I appeared. Come to Immortal City, where there was a chance of survival. But Xuanyuan nodded. Humph! The Grand Supreme snorted, but he did not refuse. This made the people of the other side extremely surprised. What was the immortal city in the universe? The mysterious voice sounded again. Same old rules. The number of dying was 50, and 49 of them were taken. One of them was creation. 3 days later, immortal city will open for you. After saying that, the mysterious voice in the world disappeared. Countless creatures began to discuss. Immortal city, what is that? What does it mean? The people from the god realm were also puzzled. However, Xuanyuan's voice soon rang out. Let me clear up your confusion. In the past, we had a great battle with the otherworld heavenly king and experienced such a tribulation. The battle back then was even more tragic than now. In the end, they had to enter Immortal City to resolve it. What was Immortal City? I don't have time to explain. I can only tell you the process and the rules. 3 days later, 50 people from our god realm and 50 from Permitha will enter Immortal City. These 50 people were randomly chosen. Of course, other than the land immortals. 100 people entered Immortal City, and there were 49 longevity fruits inside. Obtaining one would allow one to leave. One could stay in Immortal City for 100 years. If one couldn't obtain the longevity fruit within 100 years, they would stay inside forever, unable to come out. Lin Xian and the others were surprised when they heard this. 100 people went in, but only 49 came out? How cruel! However, could this change the situation? Could it change the heavenly tribulation? Xuanyuan said, of course, whoever came out with more people would win. The winner wouldn't suffer any losses. The loser would be miserable. Their cultivation resources would be deprived, and people like the Grand Supreme wouldn't be able to make a move easily. Not only that, the land immortals would probably be forced to walk that path. They understood the first two, but as for being forced to walk the path of cultivation, Lin Xian and the others were surprised. Was there any danger to the land immortals? At this moment, Lord Alcohol said, the land immortals will choose to be petrified. The fighting god you saw was the result of being petrified. After being petrified, the restrictions would be too great. They wouldn't be able to move around freely, and they might not even be able to use their full strength. Moreover, once they were petrified and failed to walk, they would probably die. Lin Xian, Xueqi, and the others were shocked when they heard this. The Crimson Dragon said, the fighting god was petrified. Could it be that we failed last time? That's right, we did fail the last time we entered the Immortal City. So, we were very miserable that time. After everyone heard this, they took a deep breath. Did we fail last time? What about this time? Can we succeed? Who should we send out of the 50 people? Lin Xian and the others still wanted to discuss. Xuanyuan said, it's useless. Choose randomly. This increased the uncertainty. However, Xuanyuan said, the chosen person is extremely dangerous. If he fails, the price will be very high. However, there was still a chance of survival. If we really failed, there was still a portion of us who could survive. However, I don't want to see such a scene. This time, I want to win. That's right, I want to win. Lin Xian clenched his fists. The others also took a deep breath. Of course, there was still hope, and that was to find the immortal token. That was their only fortune. If they could find the immortal token, as long as the 50 people who went and didn't die inside, they would be able to come out alive. Moreover, once they found it, it would be an absolute victory. Even if Bayan found all 49 longevity fruits, he couldn't compare to us. After Lin Xian heard this, his eyes turned red. The immortal token, he had to get it. It was too difficult. Last time, no one could find it. It wasn't just us. The other side didn't even have a clue. Even Xuanyuan said so. The possibility of finding it was really not big. However, Lin Xian gritted his teeth. If he were to be chosen to enter, he would be in trouble. If he was selected, then he had to find the immortal token. All right, you guys get ready. 3 days later, you will enter the Immortal City. On the other side, The voice of the Grand Supreme also came out. Some people on the other side didn't know about this situation. After hearing this, they were also extremely shocked. Was a test coming? The Grand Supreme said, "Last time, we won and directly shattered them. They wouldn't be able to recover for 5 million years. This time, we must succeed. Do you understand? We can only succeed. We can't fail." Yes, the experts on the other side quickly responded. The 5 Earth Immortals also walked out. They began to open the treasury. They distributed the treasures to everyone. Those who were selected had treasures on them and had a higher chance of survival. Of course, those who weren't selected would have their treasures taken back. For example, Nine-Tailed Fox was also given a lot of treasures. He looked at his master and said, "Master, can you bring your divine artifact?" If he had a divine artifact, his strength would be greatly increased. However, Fox Immortal said, "Even if I give you a divine artifact, it won't be of much use because in the Immortal City, the power of a divine artifact was suppressed. Instead of taking a divine artifact, it was better to take more treasures used by a super great emperor. That way, the effect would be greater." Chapter 6209, Upper Azure City. Lin Xian and the others began to prepare silently. The atmosphere was a little heavy. After all, no matter who was chosen, they would bear a heavy responsibility. Murong Qingqing said, "I don't know. What is the Immortal City like?" They had many guesses, but no one knew. Lord Alcohol didn't know either. Lord Alcohol was a land immortal last time and didn't enter. Lin Zhan didn't know either. Lin Zhan didn't wait until the end, but he had already reincarnated. The ones who went in were the Empress, the Golden Lion King, the Demon Emperor, and the others. However, they couldn't tell them in detail because they couldn't finish it in 10 days and 10 nights. It was too big and vast inside with endless difficulties. And this time, the place where the longevity fruit was definitely different from the last time. Therefore, they could only warn everyone. They had to be careful, very careful. In the Immortal City, in addition to guarding against the people of the other side, they also had to be careful of the dangers inside. There were ancient arrays, terrifying demonic beasts, and even terrifying experts. Seeing that the atmosphere was a little tense, Lin Xian smiled and said, "What if I really find the immortal token? What are the benefits?" The Golden Lion King smiled. "We really don't know the benefits. No one has ever found the immortal token. Kid, if you really want to find it, you can try your best. If you succeed, you might be able to shatter the eternal land." At this moment, the Demon Emperor suddenly spoke. Hearing this, everyone was stunned. "Really?" The Empress also said, "Don't talk nonsense." The Demon Emperor shrugged. "You don't know. Maybe it's really possible." However, the Empress looked at Lin Xian and said, "You guys go in and try your best to find the longevity fruit first. The Immortal City is too mysterious and dangerous. Therefore, unless it's absolutely necessary, don't look for the immortal token. It might even be a waste of time." "I know. When the time comes, we will act according to the circumstances." Everyone nodded. On the 3rd day, when the sun rose, a mysterious aura came from between heaven and earth. At this moment, the power of reincarnation and the power of heavenly punishment seemed to have disappeared, because the illusion of an ancient city appeared between heaven and earth. That's right. The illusion of this ancient city was so big that people in the universe could see it. What kind of city was this? Do you want to fit the entire universe into it? Since the Immortal City had appeared, Xian Yuan and Taishang didn't attack again. Both sides temporarily stopped fighting. They were waiting for Immortal City's results. "Go, try your best to come back alive," Xian Yuan said. On the other side, the Grand Supreme also ordered, "Don't fail. Buzz, 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 buzz." Some people in Shangqing City and the Eternal Land suddenly disappeared. This time, being sent to a mortal city was truly a random teleportation. The person who was teleported was someone below the Earth immortal realm. Super martial emperors disappeared, and even quasi-emperors disappeared. Allure! Lin Xian suddenly exclaimed. He realized that Morong Qingcheng had also disappeared. The Golden Lion King and Leaf Dao both disappeared. Lin Xian was anxious. Hurry up and choose me. So many of his friends had gone in, including Morong Qingcheng. He was really worried. Finally, he felt his body flicker, and he disappeared as well. Husband, Xueqi and the others cried out in alarm once again. Pick me. Xueqi raised her head and shouted. However, it was useless. Random teleportation. Damn. Don't choose me. I'm still a quasi-emperor. Treat me well. Okay? The toad let out a strange cry and disappeared. One by one, the silhouettes disappeared until there were 50 people left. On the other side, the same thing happened to the Heavenly King. The nine-tailed fox was also teleported away. After these 100 people entered Immortal City, the illusion of the huge city in the universe disappeared. It was like a dream that had never appeared. However, the people from the God realm and the Heavenly King knew that their victory and defeat would continue in Immortal City. In the ancient city, 100 people appeared in front of the gate that was full of vicissitudes. Lin Xian and the others felt dizzy. They came back to their senses and immediately divided into two teams. They were clearly separated. I really want to kill you all here. The nine-tailed fox and the others gritted their teeth. Lin Xian snorted coldly. Attack if you have the guts. However, no one dared to act rashly. Immortal City was incomparably mysterious. Who would dare to be impudent at this time? Therefore, the people from the Heavenly King could only snort coldly. Then, they began to size each other up. Soon, the people from the Heavenly King laughed. From the looks of it, they had the advantage. Although there were 50 people on each side, they were all randomly teleported. On their side, there were 18 super great emperors, while the other side only had 15. They had 3 more top combatants. This was a decisive advantage. Therefore, how could they not be happy? Lin Xian also saw it. However, he didn't care. It was only 3 less. In fact, the difference between the two sides wasn't that big. On their side, there were 15 super great emperors, 30 ordinary great emperors, and 5 quasi-emperors. On the other side, there were 18 super great emperors, 25 ordinary great emperors, and 7 quasi-emperors. The difference between the two sides wasn't that big. The most important thing was to find the longevity fruit. At this moment, they were still outside Immortal City. They hadn't entered the city yet, and were waiting. At this moment, a loud voice sounded in the city again. You all have 100 years to stay in Immortal City. There are 49 longevity fruits scattered all over Immortal City. You all need to find them yourselves. If you find a longevity fruit, you will have the right to live or leave. If you can't find one, you will stay here forever. You will be killed by the power of Immortal City. Other than that, there is also an immortal token. After obtaining it, it can save the lives of others. Lin Xian and the others already understood these rules. However, there were still some rules that they didn't know. For example, the loud voice continued, fighting is not prohibited in Immortal City. However, there are some battles that require a price to pay. You can fight stronger opponents, but you can't turn the tables and bully the weak. You can kill the weak. However, you will be weakened, injured, chased by arrays, chased by demonic beasts, and so on. The choice is up to you. Now, welcome to Immortal City. Not long after the voice sounded, the city gates slowly opened. Everyone looked forward and took a deep breath. They still couldn't see the scene in the city clearly. At the entrance, there was a ball of hazy light. Let's go. Lin Xian took a deep breath. Everyone on their side entered. After entering, they felt a teleportation force again. It was another random teleportation. Lin Xian felt that Morong Qingcheng beside him disappeared. He could only say, "Qingcheng, be careful. Brother Xian, don't worry. I can take care of myself." Everyone transmitted their voices to each other. Then Lin Xian came to an unfamiliar street. In the next moment, he used his Rinnegan to look. He found that the ancient city was very big, like a real world. Not only was there a city, but there were also mountains and rivers, including all kinds of terrain. There were probably many demonic beast experts here, right? Sure enough, just as he was thinking, a team of 10 people rushed over. These people were wearing armor and holding weapons. The leader shouted coldly, "Intruder, take him down." Chapter 62:10. The 3 guards were extremely fast. Their strength was also terrifying. The spears in their hands transformed into 300-meter-long dragons. It was extremely terrifying. Lin Xian snorted coldly. He struck out with his palm and shattered the 3 spears. Then he waved his hand. A terrifying storm formed in the void and enveloped the 3 guards. The 3 guards screamed in agony and vomited blood. However, their armor did not shatter. After the armor suffered the impact, it quickly brought the 3 guards away. Lin Xian was extremely shocked. What a strange armor. The metal was definitely beyond his imagination. The 3 guards also escaped. They roared crazily. This time, the intruder's strength was beyond imagination. They quickly gathered an army to sweep him away. Buzz. Lin Xian would not give the intruder a chance to sweep him away. Hence, he left in a flash. Not long after he left, more than 10 guards rushed over. They even had the aura of a great emperor. With a furious roar, the guards quickly chased after him. Lin Xian was extremely fast. He had already left the street. 2 days later, Lin Xian discovered an ancient palace in front of him. It was surrounded by vines. It seemed to have been abandoned for a long time. Moreover, there was no one around the palace. However, Lin Xian raised his eyebrows. This was because he felt the aura of a few people inside. His figure flashed, and he immediately rushed in. After entering, Lin Xian was stunned. This was because he realized that these were not people he knew. They were not people from the god domain or the Permitha. Then who were these people? In addition to the guards from before, Lin Xian was shocked. Could it be that there were people living in the immortal city? This was too unbelievable. The origin of the immortal city was extremely mysterious. What kind of people were living here? He looked at their cultivation and was surprised. It was not as terrifying as he imagined. There were great emperors, and super great emperors. However, there was only one super great emperor. If such a lineup was placed in the universe, it could sweep through everything. However, it was not that conspicuous in the god domain or the Permitha. Who was it? At this moment, a furious roar came from the broken palace in front of them. This was the voice of the super powerful being. The others also acted as if they were facing a great enemy. Someone said that the Red Flame Army had come. Fear appeared in their eyes. However, when they saw that it was a young man who came in, they were stunned. They weren't wearing red flame armor, so they weren't from the Red Flame Army. They all heaved a sigh of relief. "Who are you? Why are you loitering outside the palace? You're an assassin. Are you here to scout for information?" A middle-aged great emperor said in a deep voice. His aura was unparalleled, and the phantom of a demonic beast could be vaguely seen. "Who are you people?" What was he planning here? Lin Xian asked. He could see that although these people weren't from sacred or otherworld, they were still being chased by the guards. Since it's not the Red Flame Army, it's easy. "Boy, we recently found a treasure location in the southern region, and we're preparing to attack it. However, the Red Flame Army is very annoying and often chases after us. Are you interested in joining us?" Although the other party was only a young man, he was still a young great emperor. If he joined them, he would have an additional force. There were a total of 12 people in front of them. After Lin Xian joined them, there would be 13 people. Okay, Lin Xian nodded. No problem. Anyway, he was unfamiliar with this place. If he directly asked about the longevity fruit, wouldn't he expose his identity? He might as well follow these people and see what the treasure they were talking about was. After waiting for another 2 hours, they set off. During this process, Lin Xian also understood that these people weren't from the southern region. They were from other regions of Immortal City. The super great emperor in the lead was called Great Emperor Sky Scorpion. He was very strong. Moreover, his tail was extremely poisonous. Once pierced, even great emperors would die. He led the group and charged forward. On the way, they met 2 teams that were similar to the ones Lin Xian had met before. The Red Flame Army attacked aggressively. The flames they shot out were extremely terrifying. Great Emperor Sky Scorpion roared and blasted the flames away. Then he said, "Kill them!" They quickly charged forward. Lin Xian didn't show too much of his strength in the team. He only used the power of the 9 Yang Divine Body to sweep the area. After defeating the 2 Red Flame Army, the other Great Emperors all laughed. As expected of Great Emperor Sky Scorpion, he was indeed strong. That's right. Fortunately, Great Emperor Sky Scorpion is here. Otherwise, we would be in danger. When the time comes, half of the treasure will be given to Great Emperor Sky Scorpion. We'll split the rest. One after another, voices rang out. Great Emperor Sky Scorpion laughed. Let's work together and find the treasure first. He was the strongest. After finding the treasure, these people wouldn't dare to fight with him. Just as they were talking, Lin Xian's expression suddenly changed. He said, "Quickly dodge." The others didn't react, but Great Emperor Sky Scorpion's expression changed. He moved his body sideways, but it was too late. Half of his body was split open. Blood splattered everywhere. One of his arms turned into a bloody mist. This sudden change left everyone dumbfounded. That was Great Emperor Sky Scorpion, a super great emperor. 2 strands of immortal chi. How terrifying was his strength! They didn't expect him to be so heavily injured in an instant. Who attacked him? Quickly defend. For a moment, everyone was on guard. Lin Xian's expression also darkened. The power of reincarnation bloomed in his eyes and froze the void. In front, Great Emperor Sky Scorpion also took out a pill and quickly swallowed it. 2 strands of immortal chi surrounded his body. His broken body quickly healed. In the next moment, he raised his head. Terrifying demonic chi bloomed in his eyes. "No matter who you are, you're dead. I won't let you go." "Is that so? Won't let me go?" "I don't intend to let you go either." A cold voice sounded in the void. Then a shadow walked out. This shadow was illusory at first, but it instantly turned into a human figure. The person wore dark golden armor, which was different from the Red Flame Army. Not only that, but he also had a dark golden sword in his hand. It was stained with the blood of a great emperor. Clearly, this was the person who attacked. Great Emperor Sky Scorpion's expression changed when he saw the other party's appearance. Divine Shadow Guards, you guys actually attacked? This was impossible. He looked as if he had seen a ghost. The figure in front sneered. Attacking you specifically? You think too highly of yourself. I just happened to pass by and saw you. However, I can only say that you guys are too unlucky to have met me. Then I'll send you on your way. After speaking, he waved his arm. The dark golden sword in his hand burst out with powerful sword chi. Great Emperor Sky Scorpion roared and transformed into his true body. It was a terrifying demonic beast. The tail behind it swung out with silver light. With a boom, it collided with the dark golden sword. Clang! A sound rang out in all directions. Fortunately, Immortal City was extremely vast and boundless. The battle here didn't attract the attention of others for the time being. However, this was a battle between great emperors. It wouldn't be long before others came. I have to end this battle quickly. Great Emperor Sky Scorpion thought. In the next moment, he roared. Immortal poison stab. This was his decisive attack. However, the divine Shadow Guard sneered and cut off the other party's tail. Great Emperor Sky Scorpion was heavily injured and turned to flee. Chapter 62:11. Do you think you can escape from me? The divine Shadow Guard stabbed out a few more times, cutting off the other party's escape route. The Sky Scorpion Emperor didn't dare to take the attack head-on. His eyes were filled with despair. Am I going to die? Other than him, the others weren't his match at all. As expected, the other great emperors and boundary emperors turned pale when they saw this scene. Since the Sky Scorpion Emperor wasn't his match, they could only escape. I'll kill anyone who dares to move. The divine Shadow Guard turned around with a cold glint in his eyes. His voice was like the cold wind of winter, causing the souls of the surrounding people to tremble. It was too terrifying. Just one look was enough to make them feel as if they had fallen into an ice cave. These people were scared silly. However, there was a figure who was walking forward. The divine Shadow Guard was stunned. You want to die? Then I'll fulfill your wish. With that, he slashed out with his sword. It was that kid. Everyone saw the figure walking forward. It was Lin Xian. What is this kid trying to do? How dare he offend the divine Shadow Guard? Is he tired of living? Facing the dark golden sword Qi, Lin Xian also struck out with a sword light. His opponent's sword Qi was like a dark meteor, while his sword was dazzling and vast. The divine Shadow Guard's expression was incomparably cold. He was filled with disdain because everything was under his control. However, when Lin Xian slashed out with his sword, his expression changed. There was a trace of panic in his expression. This was something that had never happened before. With a boom, his dark sword light was cut apart. The divine Shadow Guard's figure swayed and dodged the sword. His face was filled with disbelief. How did you do that? Everyone else was stunned. Even the Sky Scorpion Emperor looked as if he had seen a ghost. She didn't even have the strength to fight back against the divine Shadow Guard. How could an ordinary great emperor break his sword Qi? He looked at Lin Xian with a dumbfounded expression. It was as if this was the first time he had seen this youth. Your sword is only SOSO. You're not my match. Get out of my way. Lin Xian said indifferently. His voice was even calmer. His eyes were like a ruler. This expression drove the divine Shadow Guard crazy. Isn't this the expression that he should have? Why did an ant possess it? In the next moment, he gave up on the Scorpio Emperor and turned to slash at Lin Xian. The dark golden long sword blossomed with a biting cold radiance. Even the Sky Scorpion Great Emperor couldn't contend against this sword. Could Lin Xian withstand it? Lin Xian unsheathed his sword. It was as if he had transformed into a peerless sword god. A thunderous voice rang out. Heaven and earth were split into two halves. Boom! The divine Shadow Guard was sent flying. His arm had split open, and the long sword in his hand had lost its luster. Who are you? I'm someone you can't afford to offend. Lin Xian's eyes also shone with a cold light. He raised his arm again, and there was a terrifying sword Qi flashing on it. What a terrifying sword! The divine Shadow Guards did not dare to be careless and attacked with all their might. The two sword lights collided in the air. After 5 moves, the divine Shadow Guardian was defeated. He turned around and wanted to leave, because he had never thought of it. How could there be such an expert swordsman among these people? Lin Xian formed hand seals and activated the Cosmos Sword Array, trapping the divine Shadow Guard. Then he took out the Immortal Slaying Sword and stabbed forward. The Immortal Punishing Sword was a divine weapon. Although divine weapons were suppressed in Immortal City, The immortal slaying sword combined with immortal force was terrifying to the extreme. Boom. Although the divine shadow guard tried his best to block, he was still pierced. Cracks appeared on his armor. No. Damn it. Stop. The divine shadow guard panicked. No one had ever been able to break his armor. The Sky Scorpion Great Emperor and the others were also dumbfounded. So, there was such an expert hidden in their team. He was even more terrifying than a super great emperor. Who are you? You can't kill me. If you kill me, the entire immortal city won't let you off. I'm just a member of the Divine Shadow Guard. Apart from me, there are even more powerful experts. I can spare your life, but you have to tell me some information. Otherwise, I'll make you wish you were dead. What do you want to know? Lin Xian looked at the Divine Shadow Guard and said, "Tell me everything you know about the immortal city. Also, give me clues about the longevity fruit. You're an intruder." The Divine Shadow Guard's expression changed greatly. The Sky Scorpion Great Emperor and the others were also stunned. What was an intruder? They didn't know. But from the looks of it, the Divine Shadow Guard knew. Since the other party knew, Lin Xian didn't hide anything. He said, "That's right. I'm an intruder, so you should know my determination. Without the longevity fruit, I won't be able to live. Do you think I'll let you off then? Speak." The Divine Shadow Guard took a deep breath and said, "Okay, I'll speak." The immortal city was huge and was divided into 5 regions. Apart from the east, west, south, and north regions, there was also the central region. The central region? This stunned the Sky Scorpion Great Emperor and the others. They didn't know. Lin Xian was also shocked. It seemed like there was a secret. But what happened next shocked him even more. The Divine Shadow Guard said, "Of course, this is only the first layer of heaven. As for the other layers, I don't know." What did the first layer of heaven mean? Lin Xian was stunned. He felt like there was an even bigger secret in the immortal city. There were 9 layers of heaven in the immortal city. The place you're at now is the first layer of heaven. Apart from that, there are 8 layers. It's just that I haven't been there before. There was actually such a thing. Lin Xian was shocked. He looked at the Sky Scorpion Great Emperor and the others and asked, "Do you know?" The Sky Scorpion Great Emperor and the others were at a loss. The Divine Shadow Guard said, "There's no need to ask them. They don't know." Because they didn't have the qualifications to know. Then, how you go to the other layers? Also, how many longevity fruits are there in each layer? I really don't know about the longevity fruit, but I can tell you how to go to the other layers. You have to go to the central region. I think you can get the information about the longevity fruit from the central region. Lin Xian asked a few more questions. At the same time, he used his Rinnegan. The Divine Shadow Guard soul was tortured, and he immediately screamed. Finally, he said some more information. It turned out that there were even more terrifying existences in the other layers. It was even rumored that the last few layers had god-level existences. Those were all Empyrean gods. Was there any in the first layer? Lin Xian asked. He didn't expect that there was a god in the immortal city. This was a land immortal. Even he couldn't beat him. It wasn't easy. Could the longevity fruit be in the hands of the land immortal? Lin Xian thought about it and felt that it wasn't possible. Last time, it was said that the Divine Realm and Permitha had obtained some longevity fruits. Although it wasn't much, they still obtained it. And the person who came in wasn't a land immortal. If the person who came in last time could obtain it, then the longevity fruit shouldn't be in the hands of the land immortal. When the Divine Shadow Guard heard this, he almost cried. "Don't ask any more. I can't tell you anything about this level. If I tell you, I'll die too. Why don't you give me a quick death?" Lin Xian snorted. He said, "I can let you go, but I won't allow the Divine Shadow Guard and the Red Flame Army to chase after me. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. You're very strong. We're not your match. We won't attack you again. I promise." The divine shadow guard hurriedly swore. Only then did Lin Xian let him go. Then he asked for the direction of the central region and flew there. Chapter 62:12. When Lin Xian was on the move, the others were also on the move. Whether it was the Nirvana realm or the divine realm, these people began to search for the longevity fruit. Some people were bold and directly grabbed someone to ask about the whereabouts of the longevity fruit. In the end, the Red Flame army chased after them. There were also people who hid themselves and slowly probed. Some people met the experts of the Nirvana realm, and a big battle broke out. Some people chased after the people of the Nirvana realm, and some were chased by the people of the Nirvana realm. In short, the scene was very complicated. The Golden Lion King had been here before, so he came in again and grabbed the Red Flame army to ask. After all, the last time they were here, things were different from this time. The time in between was too long. He didn't know if it was hundreds of thousands of years or millions of years. Everything had changed. Other than some rules that he knew, they had to slowly search for other clues. Fortunately, the Golden Lion King and the others also received news of the central area. Therefore, these people moved quickly. The toad, on the other hand, was screaming miserably. It had been targeted by someone and was constantly running away. In the end, he pretended to be dead and dodged once. This made the toad's heart jump. Scary. It was really too scary. Should I find a place to hide for 100 years? Anyway, looking for the longevity fruit wouldn't be of much use. As for the immortal token, he didn't even need to think about it. But later on, pretending to be dead didn't work. He was chased by the Red Flame army again. Just when he was in despair, he met Lin Xian. "That's great, kid. Help me quickly." The toad jumped to Lin Xian's side and turned to look. These people were too despicable. The Red Flame army rushed over. Lin Xian slashed out with his sword. The vast sword chi was as fast as lightning, directly splitting heaven and earth. The Red Flame army was sent flying. Go. Lin Xian left with the toad and didn't fight too much. When they came to a safe place, Lin Xian asked the toad. The toad said, "I don't know anything. I'm only a quasi-emperor now. I'm not enough here. If you didn't come, I'm afraid I would be the first to die." Lin Xian also frowned. That was indeed the case. The quasi-emperors were indeed a little weak here. He said, "Then follow me." Although Lin Xian had the sword whirled in his body, he did not dare to put the toad inside. After all, there was a limit to the number of people this time. If one of them disappeared, would there be any changes? Of course, Lin Xian did not dare to release Little White from the sword world. With one more person, he was even more afraid to try. However, the things inside the sword world still had power that he could use. "Let's go. Follow me to the central district." Lin Xian continued forward with the toad. At the same time, in Immortal City, the east region of the first layer of sky, Murong Qingqing's expression was extremely cold. He had just escaped from the Red Flame army, so he didn't dare to be careless. A mountain range appeared in front of her. This mountain range was surrounded by a mansion. Who was the owner of this residence back then? There was actually an endless mountain range inside. What kind of method was this? Murong Qingqing was in this mountain range, carefully searching. At this moment, she felt the blood in her body churning, as if there was a resonance from her bloodline. A 7-colored light appeared on her body. She had the 7-colored Phoenix bloodline, which was extremely precious and rare in the Phoenix clan. Now that something like this had happened, even Murong Qingqing was surprised. Could it be that there was something here related to the Phoenix clan? Thinking of this, she was even more shocked. She began to search carefully. Soon, she discovered that there was a cave residence in the endless mountain range. An incomparably ancient cave residence was sealed by a formation. Murung Chingcheng took a deep breath and flew towards the cave residence. The others continued to search. Soon, many people learned about the news of the Central District. They also learned about the news from the ninth heaven. It seemed that the longevity fruit was distributed in the ninth heaven. It was just that they didn't know how many longevity fruits there were in the first heaven. On the other side, Nine-Tailed Fox gritted her teeth and said, "Let's go to the Central District." They quickly met up and set off towards the Central District. In the blink of an eye, a month had passed. They searched around, but they still couldn't find the Central District. They were all crazy. However, at this moment, they suddenly felt the ground tremble. A green light appeared in the air. It was an extremely green leaf. Those leaves connected into one and danced in the wind like willow branches. A mysterious aura of the great path spread out. What a terrifying power! What a mysterious phenomenon! "Let's go over and take a look." Nine-Tailed Fox and the others cried out in surprise and quickly rushed over. On the other side, the Golden Lion King, Yi Wudao, and the others also noticed this. Immediately, they also rushed over. "Kid, look at what that is." The toad jumped out of a pagoda and pointed at the scene in the distance. Lin Xian said, "A terrifying and mysterious great path. Let's go and take a look." He turned into a sword light and soared into the sky with the toad. They flew towards the place where the willow branches appeared. Soon, they were stunned because they found that the further they flew, the more willow branches there were. Millions of willow branches condensed into a willow tree. That willow tree was extremely huge. It was indomitable, as if it was a heavenly tree. Lin Xian was stunned when he saw this scene. It was a bit like the heavenly tree in his sword world. If it wasn't for the one in the sword world, it would still be there. Lin Xian suspected that the other party had run out. However, he was sure that this was a different willow tree. What a powerful life aura. If we snatch it, will it increase our level of life? Nine-Tailed Fox and the others went crazy. They quickly rushed over. One of the martial monarchs reached out his hand and grabbed at it. That palm was covered with lightning, tearing the void apart. He wanted to grab a willow branch in his hand. The willow branch swayed with the wind and instantly shattered the great emperor's arm. The great emperor screamed in pain and was sent flying. Although he didn't die, his face was filled with fear. This was the power of a land immortal. He cried out in surprise. The others were stunned. The power of a land immortal? This was actually a god. It was too unbelievable. Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air. Previously, he had learned from the divine shadow guards that there might be land immortals in the next few levels of the ninth heaven, and there was more than one. This made him suck in a breath of cold air. He would have to be extremely careful in the future. He just didn't expect to see a land immortal in the first level of the ninth heaven. "Greetings, Senior. We didn't know that Senior was here. We have offended you." Nine-Tailed Fox and the others quickly bowed and apologized. No matter how arrogant they were, they didn't dare to be impudent in front of a land immortal. Yi Wudao, the Golden Lion King, and the others also cupped their fists. "Greetings, Senior. Intruders, you are finally here." A low voice came from the front, as if an old man was speaking. At the same time, the surrounding willow branches became even more sparkling and resplendent. Chapter 62:13. Senior, I wonder where the longevity fruit is. Can you tell us some clues? Someone asked. The others all looked at him with hopeful eyes. Willow Deity said, "Accept my test, and I can tell you the clues." "Is that true?" "That's great." These people were overjoyed. "What kind of test was it?" "I'm the guardian of the first level of heaven. You can call me Willow Deity. There's a longevity fruit in the first level of heaven. This place is mainly for you to adapt to Immortal City, so there's only one longevity fruit. The others are in the other levels of heaven. Moreover, There's at least one earth immortal guarding each level. Some have more than one. Willow deity said some things, some that Lin Xian knew before, and some that he didn't. After listening, Lin Xian was extremely shocked. Willow deity waved his willow branches, forming a pressure that pressed down. Hold on for 3 days. If you can withstand it after 3 days, I'll tell you the whereabouts of the longevity fruit. Everyone roared and resisted crazily. Those demigods were the first to give up. The other great emperors were also pale. The super great emperors were trying their best to resist. Hold on. No one is allowed to take a step back. Nine-tailed fox roared crazily. They persisted for a day, their bodies swaying. Those great emperors couldn't hold on anymore. Only the super great emperors were still gritting their teeth and persisting. In 2 days, they would be able to get the clues. Whoever got the first longevity fruit would have the upper hand. It would be of great help to increase one's aura. They could also suppress the other party. On the second day, those super great emperors were almost in despair. Could they hold on for 3 days? Their intentions were already starting to become a little vague. To be honest, Lin Xian was also under a lot of pressure. His expression was solemn. The sword qi on his body kept slashing out to resist the other party's pressure. This was just a test. If he really attacked, they probably wouldn't be able to resist. Earth immortals were too powerful, especially this willow deity in front of them. He was even more unfathomable. But at this moment, Willow deity suddenly exclaimed. He withdrew the willow branches that filled the sky. Below, the Golden Lion King, Nine-Tailed Fox, and the others were stunned. Did they pass? That's not right. Lin Xian also frowned. It hadn't even been 3 days. What was going on? Everyone looked at Willow deity. Willow deity said, there was no need to test anymore. The first longevity fruit had already been obtained. What? Someone got it? What's going on? Who got it? Nine-Tailed Fox went crazy. The Golden Lion King and the others were also dumbfounded as they looked around. This time, there were quite a few people who had reached the central area. However, there were still some people from both sides who did not come. Did the people who didn't come get the longevity fruit? But who was it? They all looked at Willow deity. Willow deity shook her head and said, I can only tell you that someone has obtained the longevity fruit. As for who it is, you can go and find it yourselves. There are no more clues about the longevity fruit in the first heaven. You can go to the second heaven. Hearing this, everyone went crazy. Should I leave now? He was unwilling to give up. Nine-Tailed Fox turned her head and said, she wanted to find out who had obtained it. The Golden Lion King said to the people beside him. At the same time, he came to Lin Xian's side and asked, any clues? Lin Xian shook his head. He did not know. He looked around. Did you see Qingcheng? This was because he realized that Murong Qingcheng did not come. This made him a little worried. Could it be that Qingcheng had encountered some danger? I did not see her, but she is very strong and has the phoenix bloodline. There should be no problem. Lin Xian also nodded. That was indeed the case. This time around, Qingcheng brought 2 extreme weapons. One was the extreme weapon of the phoenix race, and the other was the extreme weapon of the jade pool. They were very terrifying. However, he did not know where the other party was now. At this moment, Murong Qingcheng was also very surprised. She was still a little confused. Previously, she had found an ancient cave in this mountain range. When she approached the cave, she realized that the phoenix bloodline in her body had resonated. She was curious, so she wanted to investigate. When she arrived at the cave, she realized that there was an extremely powerful array outside the cave. It seemed that it could not be broken in a short time. Murong Qingcheng planned to break it slowly. Just as she was about to make a move, the array suddenly burst with power and injured her palm. The blood of the phoenix flowed down and fell on the array. In an instant, the spirit formation actually disappeared. What was going on? Murong Qingchen was stunned. She walked forward and soon entered the ancient cave abode. After entering, she realized that there was a vine in the cave. There was a fruit on it that was incomparably green. After plucking it, she sensed a powerful life aura on it. Murong Qingchen was shocked. What kind of fruit was this? It was so terrifying. Was it a divine fruit? Could it be the legendary longevity fruit? In the next moment, she heard a loud voice in the sky. Someone had obtained the first longevity fruit. Murong Qingchen was shocked. It was me? She was still in a daze. However, she still carefully put away the longevity fruit. If this was the longevity fruit, it meant that she was safe. She had completed her mission. Of course, she would cooperate with the others to obtain more longevity fruits. However, she did not leave because she realized that there seemed to be a summoning force in the depths of the cave that was calling her over. Murong Qingchen walked into the cave. Along the way, the array formations in the cave disappeared one after another. It was as if a path had been opened for her. After walking for some time, she finally stopped. There was a vast hall in the cave. It was extremely simple and unadorned. After Murong Qingchen entered, she realized that there were 4 statues around the hall. They were all statues of phoenixes that were spreading their wings and flying as if they had been reborn. Not only that, but the floor, walls, and ceiling were also engraved with ancient runes. It was very mysterious. Murong Qingchen was too surprised. She looked around curiously. At that moment, a voice sounded in the ancient cave. I didn't expect that after tens of thousands of years, another 7-colored phoenix would be able to come here. I'm really surprised. Who are you? Murong Qingchen cried out in surprise. She quickly put up a defense. There was an illusion of a phoenix on her body. At the same time, she took out the Desolate Tower and the Phoenix Clan's supreme weapon. It was as if she was facing a great enemy. However, the mysterious voice did not attack her. Instead, it seemed to be praising her. Not bad. Your Phoenix bloodline is extremely rare. Go to the Eastern Wall. The primordial Phoenix seal is engraved there. Learn it. Who are you? Senior, are you also a member of the Phoenix Clan? The primordial Phoenix seal? The Phoenix Clan did not have this. It should be a long-lost secret technique. Murong Qingchen ran to the wall in front of her. After taking a look, her soul trembled. It was really a long-lost secret technique. Chapter 62:14. Looking at the scene in front of her, Murong Qingchen was incomparably happy. She said, Senior, are you also from the Phoenix Clan? Girl, you don't need to know so much for now. Cultivate well first. I'll give you a year. If you can master the first move of the Taiga Phoenix seal, you can continue to cultivate here. I'll also tell you some things. A year's time, the first move? Murong Qingchen took a deep breath and began to cultivate. This was an opportunity that belonged to her. She must grasp it tightly. Lin Xian still didn't know about Murong Qingchen's matters. However, she had already begun to move towards the 2nd level of heaven. According to Willow Deity, there was only 1 longevity fruit in the 1st level of heaven. Now, someone had already obtained it. Then there was no need for him to stay here. He would go and look for the longevity fruit in the 2nd level of heaven first. Beside Willow Deity, a spatial door appeared. It could lead to the 2nd level of heaven. Let's go. Lin Xian took a deep breath and walked inside. The Golden Lion King and the rest also moved forward. Of course, there were a few people who stayed here. They were in charge of investigating who had obtained the first longevity fruit. If possible, they would even take action to snatch it. It wasn't just the people from the divine realm. Most of the people from the Nirvana realm also entered. They left a portion of people here to investigate. After entering the 2nd level of heaven, these people were originally gathered together, but they were randomly teleported away. The toad could only let out a curse and then disappeared. After entering the second level of heaven, Lin Xian felt that the pressure was more terrifying than the first level of heaven. He didn't know how many longevity fruits there were in the second level of heaven. Boom, boom, boom. There were waves crashing below Su Chen. Below him was a sea. Moreover, it was extremely strange. The sea was actually black. It emitted a gloomy and cold aura. Not far away, a demonic beast flew over. However, it didn't fly for long before it was grabbed by a white claw from the Black Sea below. It was a bone. The palm was rotten and had a gloomy and cold aura. In an instant, the demonic beast was brought into the sea. The demonic beast screamed and turned into a skeleton. Lin Xian frowned when he saw this. This was the aura of death. Moreover, there were also demonic beasts here. Obviously, it was similar to the first layer of heaven, apart from intruders like them. There were already living beings in this place. Not too far away from Lin Xian, a beam of light flashed, and a figure appeared. This person was wearing a black robe. He was an old man with a terrifying aura. A strand of immortal qi permeated the air. This person's immortal qi was actually black and had an extremely cold aura. The name of the old man was Yu Wang. At this moment, when he saw the Black Sea, he also threw his head back and roared, "Ha ha ha ha! This is truly a place of good fortune." I sensed an aura that was extremely similar to mine. In this place, my strength might be able to increase. They had already been in a mortal city for a period of time. He discovered that although there were many dangers in this place, there were also great fortunes and opportunities. That was because there were some things here that didn't exist in the outside world. For example, the Black Sea could not be seen from the outside. Just when Baiming Yu Wang was preparing to enter the sea to cultivate, she suddenly froze. She discovered a figure ahead of her. The masculine aura of that figure made her extremely uncomfortable. His face darkened. Wasn't that Lin Wudi? 9 Yang divine body, that detestable brat. Very soon, she started laughing coldly. Her figure flashed as she entered the Black Sea below. So what if he has the 9 Yang divine body, although this brat's combat prowess is unparalleled? In this sea, my strength will increase exponentially. Watch me. Baiming Yu Wang prepared to act against Lin Xian, because even if she couldn't kill Lin Xian, she had to heavily injure him. She couldn't allow Lin Xian to continue being so arrogant. She hid in the Black Sea and silently flew towards Lin Xian. When she arrived below Lin Xian, a black spear appeared in her hand. "Go to hell!" Baiming Yu Wang roared in anger. She absorbed the energy of the Black Sea around her. At the same time, immortal qi erupted from her body. The black spear in her hand flew out like a blade of death. There was a smug smile on his aged face. Even if she didn't die from this attack, she would be heavily injured. At that time, she would bring Lin Xian into the sea and torture him to death. At the instant the black spear shot out, Lin Xian moved. His figure flashed as he dodged the attack. Honestly speaking, he already knew about Baiming Yu Wang's appearance. He had the Rinnegan. How could he not know where Baiming Yu Wang was? At the instant Baiming Yu Wang appeared, he knew that Baiming Yu Wang was someone from the Permethau realm. When Baiming Yu Wang entered the sea, he knew that Baiming Yu Wang wanted to ambush him. However, he didn't act recklessly. He was waiting for Baiming Yu Wang to attack. As expected, Baiming Yu Wang acted. After dodging the attack, Lin Xian slammed out with his golden palm, aiming for the surface of the sea. With a boom, the sea split apart. Waves slammed against the shore, causing Baiming Yu Wang's qi and blood to churn. She coughed out a mouthful of blood and retreated, arriving at the depths of the sea. Her expression was extremely unsightly. How is this possible? He actually dodged it. Isn't this brat's soul perception a little too terrifying? Forget it, since my attack failed. I might as well leave. This brat is a little strange. I'm not a match for him. Bai Mingyu Wang was very decisive. She prepared to leave and cultivate first. Once she was strong enough, she would act. In the air, Lin Xian frowned. Oh, you want to leave? The Permitha realm is very cautious now. But do you think that everything will be fine if you leave? You want to leave safely after making a move against me? You are truly courting death. His figure flashed as he rushed downwards. He had the 9-yang divine body, and the black sea was filled with cold energy. Hence, when he descended, the black sea roared in anger. The wind and clouds churned, forming terrifying waves that wanted to engulf Lin Xian. Lin Xian coldly laughed. He didn't use the 9-yang divine body to block it. With a wave of his hand, a Taiji diagram appeared and covered her body. Yin and Yang revolved around the Taiji diagram. Lin Xian successfully entered the Black Sea. This time around, he didn't receive any attacks. Ahead, Bai Mingyu Wang was originally preparing to cultivate, but all of a sudden, her brows twitched as she felt uneasy in her heart. What's going on? Why do I feel a sense of terror? She sent her soul out to investigate. When she saw Lin Xian entering, she was given a fright. How is this possible? The 9-yang divine body shouldn't be able to come here. Flee. She rapidly retreated. However, a terrifying attack came from behind. A beam of sword chi slashed into her leg. A moment later, the bones in her body cracked apart. The other party wants to kill me. Not good. Bai Mingyu Wang's face turned pale. She felt that she was dead for sure. But at this moment, a voice rang out from the sea. I didn't expect that more people would enter. Moreover, there are 2 of them. This is really surprising. Chapter 62:15. When they heard this voice, Yu Wang and Lin Xian both stopped. Lin Xian frowned. Is there another expert here? He didn't sense it earlier, but Yu Wang seemed to have grabbed onto a life-saving straw. He exclaimed, Greetings, Senior. May I know what test and instruction Senior has? Just say it. I won't hesitate to climb a mountain of swords or go through a sea of flames. Including the 2 of you, there are a total of 12 people. You can start now. 12 people. Lin Xian was shocked when he heard this. Other than the 2 of us, there are 10 more people. Who are they? Yu Wang's hope also rose. Could it be that the people from the Permitha world are here too? However, when they saw the 12 people, they were disappointed. 12 unfamiliar faces. There were humans and demonic beasts. They should be living beings who originally lived here. The auras of these 12 people were also very powerful. The weakest among them was a great emperor. There were even super great emperors among them. In the sea, the cold voice rang out again. Cultivate. A month later, you all will have a life and death battle. Only 6 of you will be able to survive. After that, cultivate for another 3 months before the life and death battle. In the end, only one of you will be able to leave this place alive. When they heard this, the expressions of the 12 people changed. Even Lin Xian was stunned. How cruel. Senior, why are you doing this? Yu Wang went crazy. If only one of them survived, it meant that he would meet Lin Wudi sooner or later. Because I'm too bored, I need you all to fight. Let me watch the battle. This way, I can kill some time. Huh? Yu Wang was stunned. Experts are really heartless. A demonic beast in front spoke. Can I leave? I regret it. The cold voice snorted. Yes, but you will die immediately and very miserably. Have you thought it through? Forget it. I'm willing to stay. That great emperor shook his head. What a joke. This mysterious voice was too terrifying. He didn't dare to resist. If he stayed, he might still be able to survive. There was a chance. All right, you guys go and cultivate for a month. Don't think about escaping this sea, because you can't escape. Of course, as long as you don't leave the sea, you can go anywhere. After speaking, the voice became softer, leaving only the 12 people behind. The 12 people said, "Then let's do it." They were on guard against each other. Then they each flew in a different direction. Yu Huang also gritted her teeth. She glanced at Lin Xian and turned to leave. During this month, he had to do his best to increase his strength. Lin Xian did not go anywhere. He sat down cross-legged on the ground and activated the Yin-Yang Taijutsu. He began to cultivate silently. The Black Sea could increase the power of his Taiji diagram. A month passed very quickly. For the past month, the 12 of them had been cultivating like crazy. A month later, they were enveloped by a mysterious force. Then a hand seemed to grab them and bring them away. Lin Xian also felt this power. He realized that he was moving forward quickly in the sea. However, they did not leave the sea. Soon, they stopped, and the 12 of them gathered together again. The mysterious voice sounded again. "All right, you can start fighting now. I'll divide it up for you." With that, he waved his hand and divided the 12 people into 2 teams, facing each other. Each team had 6 people. This was great. They were actually in the same team. Yu Huang heaved a sigh of relief. She discovered that she was on the same side as Lin Xian. This also meant that they didn't have to fight this time around. How lucky! Lin Xian glanced at her expressionlessly. So, what if they didn't meet this time around? Just like what the mysterious voice said, only one person would be able to leave this place alive. That person would definitely be him. This Yu Huang would die in his hands sooner or later. He was in no hurry. Let the battle begin. The 2 of them walked out. The first battle was very fast because one was a supreme emperor while the other was an immortal emperor. How could that immortal emperor be a match for them? He was insta-killed in a single move. His remnant soul wanted to flee, but was smacked to death by the supreme emperor. The next battle was also incomparably intense because it was a life and death battle. Hence, no one held back. The Black Sea was dyed red. It was Yu Huang's turn to act. His opponent was also an immortal emperor. After the 2 of them exchanged 30 moves, Baiming Yu Huang killed his opponent. His lips curled into a smile. His opponent's strength was extremely terrifying. If this was before, the victor would most probably only be determined after 100 moves. But now, 30 moves was sufficient, because in this 1 month, his strength had improved by leaps and bounds. After finishing off his opponent, Yu Huang even looked at Lin Xian in satisfaction. Her eyes were filled with provocation. The last one was Lin Xian. Lin Xian's opponent was also an immortal emperor. However, this immortal emperor was a demonic beast, immortal emperor. His opponent was a bull with 3 heads. In the center of each head's brows, there was a vertical eye. The color of each head was different. This demonic beast was called an ox-headed immortal emperor. When he saw Lin Xian, he grinned. "You are tired because you are alone. Seems like your strength isn't that great. Your grandpa ox has never been defeated by someone at the same level. Hence, you can die in peace." The 3 ox heads spat out thunderstorms as well as strange black runes. The moment they attacked, they were all killing moves. Lin Xian also attacked. The Taiji diagram flew out and transformed into a yin-yang fish. It spun in the air and directly cleaved apart the heavens and earth. The attacks in the sky shattered. The ox-headed immortal emperor was cleaved into 2. All 3 of his heads were filled with fear. He died. He was insta-killed. The others all drew in a breath of cold air. Originally, Lin Xian was just an ordinary immortal emperor. They didn't place him in their eyes. After all, there were supreme immortal emperors here. But now, this young man insta-killed the ox-headed immortal emperor. This caused them to be shocked. The strength of this young man wasn't any weaker than a supreme immortal emperor. This was too unbelievable. Even Bai Ming Yuang trembled as a look of fear appeared in her eyes. Damn, why is this young man's strength so terrifying? Fascinating, truly fascinating. The voice in the sky laughed. I didn't expect that someone's strength would exceed my expectations. It has been a long time since I've seen such an interesting battle. Luckily, you guys have 3 months to cultivate. 3 months later, we will fight to the death. The voice vanished. The remaining 6 all had unsightly looks in their eyes. They were played in the palm of the young man's hand. However, the young man was too strong. They didn't even know where he was. They couldn't even find him. There was no need to talk about resisting. The supreme immortal emperor in front was clad in black robes. His body was like a thick fog. He stared at Lin Xian and spoke. You are very powerful. I hope I can fight against you in the future. Lin Xian laughed. No, I want to fight against him. After speaking, he pointed at Yu Huang. Yu Huang was so frightened that she almost fell to the ground. She transformed into a bolt of lightning and instantly fled. Damn that Lin Wudi. As expected, he has his eyes on me. The others also found a place and went to cultivate. Lin Xian lifted his head and stared ahead. Up ahead, he could sense an unusual aura. Was there only a black sea here? Why was his Taiji diagram able to sense the aura of yin and yang? Other than the black sea, there should be other powers. Lin Xian's figure flashed as he rushed forward. Chapter 62:16. This time around, only 6 of them were left alive. The next challenge would be even more terrifying. No one wanted to die. Everyone would do their best. Hence, no one wanted to waste these 3 months. They all found a place and quickly went into secluded cultivation to improve themselves. As for Lin Xian, he continued walking. He flew towards the depths of the Black Sea. The further he went, the more terrifying he felt. However, he didn't stop. Half a month later, Lin Xian stopped and didn't leave. Although he had wasted half a month's time, Lin Xian smiled, because he discovered that the Black Sea had reached its end. If he continued forward, it would be a white sea. There wasn't a cold energy there. Instead, it was a scorching energy. As expected, this was the Yin-Yang Sea. It was just that it was extremely vast. His soul couldn't cover it immediately. Now that he saw the scorching energy in front of the Black Sea, he understood. This sea was like an yin-yang diagram. Before this, Yu Huang and the others had been cultivating in the Black Sea. However, Lin Xian had to stand at the boundary between yin and yang to cultivate. This way, not only would he be able to refine his yin-yang diagram, he would even be able to continue cultivating his 9-yang divine body. Lin Xian's 9-yang divine body had received the follow-up incantation and could continue cultivating it. What he needed was such a scorching energy. When he thought of this, Lin Xian's figure flashed, and he stood at the place where the yin-yang split was. He started to cultivate. The yin-yang diagram on his body spun slowly. In the blink of an eye, 3 months passed. Between heaven and earth, that mysterious voice rang out again. All right, stop cultivating and continue the life and death battle. After that, everyone felt that they were enveloped by a mysterious energy that brought them back and forth rapidly. At the next instant, the 6 of them gathered together. Yu Huang became confident again. During these 3 months, his strength was much stronger than before. In fact, he even managed to cultivate an ultimate art called the Netherworld Finger. He was truly too happy. If he was in the outside world, he might not be able to cultivate such an ultimate art even after 100 years. But now, after 3 months, he succeeded. The Netherworld Finger had 3 moves, and he managed to cultivate the first one. However, this had already greatly increased his strength, so he looked at Lin Xian again, his eyes filled with fighting spirit. On the other side, the black-robed man from before was also staring at Lin Xian. He was also very interested in Lin Xian. Lin Xian's expression was incomparably calm. 3 months of cultivation had strengthened his yin-yang image. This made him extremely happy. From the looks of it, this immortal city indeed had great opportunities. Even though there were no clues about the longevity fruit at the moment, the increase in his strength would be of great help to him when he fought for it in the future. All right, let's fight. The mysterious voice sounded again. He divided everyone into their opponents. This time, Lin Xian and Yu Huang did not meet. Lin Xian met an opponent. It was the man in the black robe. This man was called Demon Shine. He grinned and said, "Very good. I didn't expect you to be my opponent. I hope you won't disappoint me." Lin Xian walked out and said, "You'd better do your best. Otherwise, you won't have a chance." Since it was a battle of life and death, it was impossible for the other party to escape. Lin Xian's eyes shone with a cold light. With a wave of his hand, the yin-yang diagram appeared and spun between heaven and earth. Immediately, a terrifying power erupted like a volcano, causing the entire Black Sea to shake violently. This terrifying aura was really too terrifying, causing the other people's faces to change. Even Yu Huang's expression changed. How could this be? This brat's yin-yang aura was actually so terrifying. Other than the 9-yang divine body, the other party had no other choice. He actually cultivated such a mysterious yin-yang diagram. This gave him a big fright. Demon Shine's complexion also sank. She could feel that Lin Xian's aura was much stronger than before. The other party's improvement was even faster than his. This person was unfathomable. Where did this brat come from? Demon Shine was a native martial artist of Immortal City. He didn't know about the intruders. Therefore, he was very confused about Lin Xian's appearance. "Did you feel my strength? You are not my match. Admit defeat now." Lin Xian opened his mouth and said, "I'll give you a quick and painless death. Brat, you're too arrogant. Although your aura is strong, I will not be defeated. I'm a realm higher than you. Today, I'll show you what it means to be suppressed by a realm." Demon Shine coldly snorted. In the next moment, his figure flickered, and the void was instantly torn apart. Demon Shine's body disappeared. When he reappeared, he was already behind Lin Xian. Then, he slapped out with his palm. A black light appeared on his palm as he ruthlessly slapped towards Lin Xian's heart. This speed was so fast that the others were startled. Demon Shine was really too terrifying and difficult to deal with. Fortunately, they didn't encounter him. Even Yu Huang had a dignified expression. She discovered that if she were to face this battle, she wouldn't be able to avoid it. Lin Xian's lips curved up in a sneer. What fast speed! But so what? His palms formed a seal and the yin-yang diagram flew out, spinning behind him. Then he caught the palm strike. A booming sound rang out as the Taiji diagram enveloped this palm. "Your speed is very fast, but your strength is nothing much. You really disappoint me." Lin Xian's voice rang out once more. With a wave of his embroidered robe, the yin-yang sword flew out from the Taiji diagram. Buzz, buzz, buzz. Yin and yang turned into primal chaos. Sword energy blotted out the skies as it rushed towards Demon Shine. Demon Shine relied on his lightning-like speed to rapidly dodge and engage in a fierce battle, but in the end, he still failed. His body was penetrated by the sword chi, and countless cracks appeared on his body. He was nailed to the void. Damn it! In order to escape, Demon Shine had shattered his body. He wanted to recover. However, Lin Xian said that yin and yang transformed into Taiji. The yin and yang swords quickly fused together to form a Taiji sword. Once again, the Taiji sword slashed apart the newly formed body of the opponent. "I won't die." Demon Shine came back to life. Lin Xian said, "No one can survive. Let's see how many times you can revive." That was indeed the case. Although a great emperor's life force was extremely strong, once his energy was exhausted, he would still die. And as expected, on the 6th time, Demon Shine died. He died with reluctance and despair in his heart. His opponent was too strong. He had no way to retaliate at all. Lin Xian waved his hand and kept the Taiji sword. He stood there with his hands behind his back. He glanced at Yu Huang and spoke. I hope you can survive. I hope to finish you off at the end. Damn it. Yu Huang's expression was incomparably ugly. Finish him off at the end? He understood Lin Xian's meaning. The higher he stood, the harder he would fall. I will walk to the end, but the final victor will be me. Yu Huang roared in rage and ruthlessly rushed towards his enemy. Chapter 62:17. Yu Huang also defeated his opponent. This time, only 3 of them survived. What followed was a year of cultivation. After a year, only one of the 3 would survive. Yu Huang's face was cold. This time, he must learn the last 2 moves of the Netherworld Finger. He went into seclusion. Lin Xian also left the Black Sea and flew towards the White Sea. This time, he wanted to cultivate his 9 Yang divine body. He silently cultivated in the White Sea. Time passed very quickly. More than half a year had passed. Lin Xian had been cultivating. His 9 Yang divine body had become more terrifying than before. At the same time, Murong Qingcheng opened her eyes in the mysterious cave in the first layer of heaven. She formed a seal with her jade-like hands and slapped forward. An immemorial phoenix swept out and roared at the sky. She had already used the first move of the immemorial phoenix seal. Success. Murong Qingcheng was overjoyed. In the cave, she also heard the mysterious voice from before. I didn't misjudge you. In a year, you were able to master the first move of the immemorial phoenix seal. You really surprised me. It seems that your talent and bloodline are stronger than I imagined. Very good. You can continue to cultivate here. After he finished speaking, more mysterious patterns appeared on the wall in front of him. These were the last few moves of the immemorial phoenix seal. Thank you, Senior. Murong Qingcheng was overjoyed. The power of the immemorial phoenix seal was too strong. She must cultivate it. Once I master it, I will go out and help Big Brother Xian. In the blink of an eye, a year had passed. In the White Sea, Lin Xian opened his eyes. He roared at the sky. His divine body changed again. Lin Xian clenched his fist. His arm shook, and the entire sea surged. What a strong power! The cultivation of the 9 Yang divine body was indeed even more mysterious and unfathomable. The mysterious person in the sea attacked again. Lin Xian, Yu Huang, and another person appeared together. The last person was a woman. Although she was beautiful, when it came to a life-and-death battle, no one would hold back. The 3 of them didn't know what to do. Were they going to fight? Yu Huang's eyes flickered. If they really attacked together, he was prepared to join forces with this woman to deal with Lin Wuti first. Out of the 3 of you, only one is still alive, but I won't let you bully me with your numbers. You will have a fair fight. So I'll kill a random person first. As soon as he finished speaking, a peerless killing intent swirled above the heads of Lin Xian and the other 2 before abruptly descending. At this moment, Yu Huang felt a sense of danger to her life. Even Lin Xian's expression changed. His divine body erupted with power, and a layer of armor-like patterns emerged. This was the state of the 9 Yang divine body's subsequent cultivation. However, he was fine. Yu Huang was also fine. The other woman let out a blood-curdling scream as her soul was extinguished. Dead. Beads of cold sweat flowed down Yu Huang's forehead. How strong was this mysterious man exactly? Is he an Earth immortal? The moment the voice arrived, it killed a terrifying great emperor. Lin Xian also frowned. Immortal City was truly terrifying. There were too many secrets here. Those who were unlucky have already been killed. Only the 2 of you are left. Let's have a fair fight. Only one of you can survive. Lin Xian smiled. He looked ahead and said, "You should be thankful that I let you live for so long." Yu Huang coldly snorted, "Brat, you are courting death. I won't be defeated." He roared in rage and stabbed out with his finger. He immediately executed his most powerful ultimate art, the Netherworld Finger. BZZ. Boundless, gloomy, dark energy swept out in all directions. After that, it transformed into a pitch-black finger that seemed to stand between heaven and earth. Taiji sword. Lin Xian waved his arm. Yin and Yang condensed into Taiji and slashed down, splitting apart heaven and earth. Boom. A thunderous sound rang out. Yu Huang's ultimate art was blocked. His expression changed. How powerful! However, this wasn't the end. At the next instant, he attacked again. Netherworld Finger, second finger. This attack was even more terrifying compared to before. Not only so, he also executed the third finger. The surrounding black sea churned violently. The third finger surpassed everything. It was as if a divine weapon had exploded. It seemed that Yu Huang didn't intend to give Lin Xian any chance to retreat. In the face of such terrifying attacks, Yu Huang felt that victory was in his hands. He said, "Lin Wudi, prepare to die. Even if you have the power of an immortal, you might not be able to block it." "Is that so?" "You are too confident. Do you think that I haven't cultivated my ultimate art in the past year? Let me show you the ultimate art that I have just cultivated." After speaking, golden flames suddenly bloomed on Lin Xian's body. The Black Sea was illuminated. It was as if a sun had fallen into the world. In the next instant, Lin Xian's palm slapped over. Great solar undying palm. Previously, the Nine-Yang divine body used the Nine-Yang divine fist. However, after becoming a great emperor, the divine body changed further. Now, it was called the Great Solar Undying Palm. Lin Xian had cultivated for a year and could only use it once. However, this move was already extremely terrifying. It covered the sky and illuminated everything, completely enveloping the two Netherworld fingers. The two Netherworld fingers actually started to melt under this power. No! Yu Huang screamed in despair. What kind of ultimate art was this? He had no way to block it. Boom! After a single strike, a black hole appeared in the Black Sea. Yu Huang was blasted into ashes. Lin Xian retracted his palm and heaved a sigh of relief. He smiled. How powerful! Much more terrifying than the Nine-Yang divine palm. In the air, that mysterious voice rang out. "You went to the White Sea?" Lin Xian nodded. "That's right. You won. You can leave here alive. Little fellow, you can leave now before I get angry. Farewell." Lin Xian clasped his fists and spoke. After that, his figure flashed, and he shot up into the sky like a golden arrow. He tore apart the Black Sea and left this place. After Lin Xian left, that mysterious voice rang out again. The power of Taiji, the power of the divine body. This intruder is somewhat interesting. After leaving the Black Sea, Lin Xian continued on his journey. Along the way, he encountered many difficulties again. However, he relied on the power of the divine body, the Taiji sword, and the great solar undying palm. Lin Xian swept through everything in his way. He had fought with a powerful demonic beast and was also chased by a group of armored soldiers. Later on, because he was annoyed by the pursuit of this team, Lin Xian directly returned and fought against them for a month. He killed all the experts in this team. Just like that, he fought for another half a year. Lin Xian stared ahead as he furrowed his brows. It was as though he was facing a great enemy, because he sensed the power of an earth immortal again. Did an earth immortal from the second heaven appear? He wondered if he would be able to obtain clues about the longevity fruit this time around. Lin Xian drew in a deep breath and flew forward. He wanted to meet this earth immortal. Chapter 62:18. Lin Xian took a deep breath. He flew forward. He didn't know what was the land immortal in front of him like. To be honest, he was also a little nervous. Gradually, clouds and mist appeared around him, enveloping heaven and earth. The scene in front of him became dreamy. Lin Xian felt that an extremely terrifying soul force was surrounding him. So terrifying. Could it be an illusion formation? He used Rinnegan to resist, but the power of his Rinnegan was also suppressed. It could only surround him. This made him even more shocked, as expected of a land immortal. Too strong. In the clouds and mist ahead, Lin Xian saw a figure. It was a figure wearing the fantasy battle armor. This was a woman, extremely beautiful, and her black hair fluttered like a waterfall. The other party's eyes were too mysterious, making people not dare to look directly at them. Lin Xian took a look, and it was as if his soul was about to be frozen. He was so scared that he broke out in a cold sweat and hurriedly used Rinnegan to resist. He cupped his fists and said, "Greetings, Senior. Young man, you're here." The woman in front of him spoke in a deep voice. Her voice was incomparably pleasant. "I've been paying attention to you for a long time." Lin Xian was taken aback. "Paying attention to me? Senior, we haven't met before." The dreamy woman in front of him said, "You can call me Dream God. We haven't met before, but in the past 6 months, I've seen your strength clearly. In the past 6 months, you swept through the 4 directions, fought with countless powerhouses, and even killed a super great emperor. And you're just an ordinary great emperor. Your combat strength surpasses everything. How could I not pay attention to you?" "That's true." Lin Xian thought for a moment. The other party should be the guardian of the second layer of heaven. The other party should know about the second layer of heaven, and his actions couldn't be hidden from the other party. So Lin Xian nodded and said, "Senior, you should know that I'm an intruder, and I'm here to look for the longevity fruit. I hope Senior can give me some pointers." "I don't have the longevity fruit here, but I know the whereabouts of the longevity fruit. I know the clues of 8 longevity fruits." 8. Lin Xian sucked in a breath of cold air after hearing this. One had to know that only one person had appeared in the first heaven. Now that he knew 8 clues, he would gain a huge advantage. He said, "Please enlighten me." No matter what kind of test it was, he had to succeed. The dream god chuckled. "There's no rush. In another month, I'll choose a few more people to test with. Whoever succeeds in the end, I'll tell him the clue." 1 month, Lin Xian nodded. He continued to sit cross-legged and began to cultivate his 9 yang divine body. During this process, some people spoke up. Among them, there were people from the other world and people from the domain of the gods. The people from the other side gritted their teeth when they saw Lin Xian. On the other hand, the people from God's domain were elated. Apart from this, a few other native cultivators had also been chosen by the dream god. There were a total of 32 people. On God's domain side, including Lin Xian, there were a total of 4 people. There were 5 on Permitha's side, and the difference wasn't big. The remaining 20+ were all Immortal City's native life forms. "Lin Gongzi, it's great that you're here." When the people from the domain of the gods saw this, they all laughed. There were no weaklings among those who could reach the second layer of heaven. Even the weakest among them were emperors. There was also a super emperor. This super emperor was known as the Red Fish Emperor. He had joined the domain of the gods during the apocalyptic tribulation. Lin Xian stood up and walked over to them, asking them a few questions in a low voice. He also asked a few questions about the others. However, these people didn't know because the second layer of heaven was still incredibly vast. They had all been randomly teleported here, so they hadn't met up yet. Forget about it. There was no point in thinking too much about it. Let's finish the dream god's test first. The dream god said that a month had passed and that no one else had come. Then you people will be the ones to take the test. After speaking, she waved her hand. A cloud of mist appeared in her hand. It spun rapidly like a small tornado, bringing with it a storm of consciousness energy. The surrounding people retreated in fear. Was the dream god going to attack them? The dream god chuckled. Don't be afraid, little guys. Next, it was time for the test. The name of this test was Dreaming of the Past. Dreaming of the past? Everyone was stunned. What did that mean? Was this an illusion technique? One of the super emperors on the other side asked. His name was Emperor Glorious Star, and the stars on his body shone brightly. The dream god had said that life was like a dream, and a dream was like life. Whether you are going to experience a dream or a life is up to you. So what is considered a win? The Red Fish Emperor asked. If you can walk out of the dreaming of the past on your own, you will win. If you fail, don't be afraid. I will eliminate you and send you out of the dreaming of the past. Of course, you won't be able to find any clues about the longevity fruit. As for anything else, you can try to figure it out yourself in the dreaming of the past. An instant later, the dream god formed a series of hand seals. The consciousness vortex in his hand flew out and enveloped Lin Xian and the other 32 people. Lin Xian and the others felt the world spin around them. It was as if they were descending from the heavens. The ground below them grew larger and larger in their eyes. With a loud boom, their souls felt like they were about to split open. When they opened their eyes, they were no longer looking at the stars descending from the heavens. Lin Xian didn't know what was going on with the others, but he discovered that there were many more monkeys around him. These monkeys were demonic beasts, but they weren't very powerful. In fact, they were quite weak. It had been many years since Lin Xian had felt such a weak cultivation level. It was just like when he had first started cultivating. Where was this place? Lin Xian stood up and discovered that he had grown furry claws. What was going on? He found a small stream and looked at himself, only to find that he had turned into a monkey. What was going on? How did I turn into a monkey? Wait. The dreaming of the past. This was a dream. It was fake. Did he have to break through this illusory dream? Lin Xian prepared to activate his Rinnegan. However, he discovered that all of his theurgy arts were gone. There were no Rinnegan, no dragon sword soul, and no 9 young divine body. There was nothing. He really did seem to have turned into a monkey. Lin Xian stood there in a daze for a long time. First of all, he was sure that this was a dream. As for the dreaming of the past, was it to let them grow again? Take away all of their theurgy arts? Just as he was thinking, the little monkeys around him said, "Run! The demonic wolves from the nearby mountain range are coming again. They want to eat us." The monkeys scattered in a hubbub. Lin Xian turned his head and saw dozens of demonic wolves flying over. These demonic wolves were surrounded by green lightning, demonic beasts, and they were incomparably stronger than this monkey. They were no match for them. Therefore, he could only run. If he died here, he might not really die, but he would fail. He wouldn't be able to get any clues about the 8 longevity fruits. I can't die now. I want strength. I want to recover my powerful strength. Lin Xian quickly dodged and escaped. First of all, he had to survive. Not only him, but the 32 people who came in were all the same. They didn't have powerful immortal chi, divine fire, and divine abilities. Some became children, some became demonic beasts, and some even became ants and small snakes. Some even became a tree. They were terrified and desperate. Not long after, they faced a crisis. Chapter 62:19. Danger quickly descended upon them, and some of them were turned into ants. In the end, they were quickly trampled to death. In the next instant, he was teleported out of the dream of eternity. His soul shook. When this emperor opened his eyes, he found that he had returned to reality. Did I fail? He had a blank expression on his face. The dream god glanced at him and shook his head slightly. Your aptitude is too poor. You can leave now. After speaking, she waved her hand, tore open the void, and threw this emperor out. In the next instant, her gaze seemed to pierce through the primordial universe and look at the people in the dream of eternity. The corners of her mouth curled up. Let me see how you people cultivate. I hope that I can find my future cultivation path from you. The dream god muttered to himself. That's right. This was her goal. Although she was an immortal, she was still a little confused about her future cultivation path. She didn't know how to walk her path. Therefore, she would capture some people and make them enter the dream of eternity. She would make these people's cultivation and divine abilities disappear. She would turn them into ordinary people, or even worse than ordinary people. She wanted to see how these people would cultivate again and return to their peak. And everyone's cultivation path was different. By observing the cultivation paths of others, she was able to comprehend her own cultivation path. Among these people, there were a few people that she paid special attention to. Lin Xian was one of them. At this moment, Lin Xian was still running away, and the demonic wolves behind him were hot on his heels. Although Lin Xian didn't have any strength now, he still had his experience. Therefore, he set up a few traps and avoided these demonic wolves. He led these monkeys away safely. It's really amazing. How did you do it? From now on, you will be the Monkey King. Okay? You will lead us. We don't want to be food for the demonic wolves anymore. The little monkeys looked at Lin Xian and said. Lin Xian nodded and said, okay, if he wanted to cultivate, he had to find cultivation resources. Moreover, he had to break this dream of eternity quickly, although he still didn't understand what the dream god was thinking. However, he had a belief in his heart, and that was to quickly cultivate and recover his strength. Only with enough strength would he be able to break this illusion. Lin Xian had experience with array formations, so he began to lead these little monkeys to set up array formations. In the beginning, the formation was simple. Fortunately, the strength of these demonic wolves was not that strong. With the protection of some simple formations, the safety of these little monkeys was greatly improved. Next, Lin Xian taught these little monkeys how to identify spirit herbs and spirit fruits. He told them to quickly collect these spirit fruits. With these spirit herbs and spirit fruits, Lin Xian would be able to embark on the path of cultivation. This dream was a dream, so Lin Xian could not use the power inside the sword world. He had to rely on himself. Lin Xian began to cultivate silently. He recultivated the nine-yang body, and at the same time comprehended the sword art. His strength was increasing bit by bit. Not only that, but he also taught the surrounding spirit lakes how to cultivate. As a result, the strength of those monkeys rapidly increased. I have been cultivating for half a year now. I am much stronger than before. I wonder what the flow of time is like outside. Logically speaking, there should be a time difference in the dream. Lin Xian had the Rinnegan. He had created illusions more than once to trap the enemy, 2 or 3 seconds outside, but the enemy had already experienced tens of thousands of years. The dream god was a land immortal. The other party's methods should be even stronger than his. Therefore, staying here for many years was actually just a moment in reality. Thinking of this, he no longer had any worries. He said, a month later, we will destroy those demonic wolves. A month later, Lin Xian rushed over with those little monkeys. The demonic wolves were originally disdainful. However, when they really fought, they realized that they were no match for these monkeys. In the end, these demonic wolves were all destroyed, and the monkeys occupied the demonic wolves' territory. Your Majesty, you are really too powerful. Those monkeys were extremely excited. Lin Xian said, collect the spoils of war. Let's continue to cultivate. Other than him, the other great emperors also began to cultivate again. Everyone's cultivation was different. It could be said that there were all kinds of strange things. For example, the Red Fish Emperor found that he had become an ordinary carp. He wanted the carp to leap through the dragon's gate and become a powerful emperor again. Great Emperor Xiang Xingyao, on the other hand, had become a rock, a meteorite that fell from the sky. However, he relied on his powerful experience and terrifying ultimate techniques. He forcibly turned from a rock into a stone man and began to cultivate in reverse again. Other than that, the other great emperors also did the same. Other than the unlucky one who was killed at the beginning, the others did not die. Their strength was rapidly increasing. After all, in this dream of the ages, it was equivalent to them being reborn with their great emperor-level experience. As long as they had enough strength, they basically had no obstacles. At Monkey Mountain, after Lin Xian destroyed the demonic wolves, he began to think about his cultivation path. Back then, when he started cultivating as a small martial artist, it could be said that it was extremely difficult and dangerous. He cultivated countless cultivation methods and countless ultimate techniques. However, after becoming a great emperor, he only cultivated a few types. Lin Xian was thinking, should he simplify and only cultivate a few simple types? After thinking about it, Lin Xian decided to cultivate the 9 yang divine body, the power of yin and yang, and sword techniques. He did not want the other cultivation methods. He wanted to cultivate these to the extreme. After deciding on the cultivation path, his speed became faster and faster. The 9 yang divine body required some scorching power. So Lin Xian sent these monkeys to find it. As long as he found this natural power, he would take the initiative to attack. His physique was gradually becoming stronger. His body became golden, as if flames were jumping. After the surrounding monkeys saw this, they all exclaimed, "King is too powerful, so magical. What was this? I'll teach you." Lin Xian had killed countless experts before and seized countless cultivation methods and secret manuals. As for the terrifying demonic beasts, he had killed many of them. Therefore, he had a lot of martial arts in his hands. He picked some that he did not need and taught these little monkeys. After all, he needed to collect information about all kinds of heavenly materials and earthly treasures, and he had to rely on these monkeys to inquire about them. Sure enough, after those monkeys finished learning, they were extremely strong. They soared into the clouds and rode the mist. They were extremely excited. "Thank you, Your Majesty. We are willing to follow Your Majesty to the death." Lin Xian said, "Go and find more resources." On this day, a monkey flew over like a gust of wind. He said, "Your Majesty, I found something good. In a cave not far from us, there is a rhinoceros demon. He is much stronger than those demonic wolves from before. Not long ago, I saw the rhinoceros demon's subordinates carrying a terrifying metal block and walking over. The metal block was surrounded by flames. It was extremely magical. The little monkey danced and told him the news. After Lin Xian heard this, his eyes lit up. "Oh, flame divine metal? Coincidentally, I lack a treasure sword." Chapter 62:20. In the distant mountain peak, there was a rhinoceros demon. His strength was also very terrifying. He was the monster king of this area. Recently, he had a distinguished guest who was a stone man. Although it was a distinguished guest, it was actually someone he didn't dare to provoke. When he first saw the stone man, he wanted to swallow him. However, he was defeated by the stone man. He surrendered and worshipped him as his big brother. The stone man asked him to find all kinds of heavenly materials and earthly treasures. He had just found a piece of iron that was burning with purple flames. This was a good material for forging weapons. He immediately gave it to him. The stone man in front of him was none other than Emperor Star Glory. He was also preparing to subdue some demonic beasts to collect resources for him. He encountered this rhinoceros demon by chance. After defeating it, he immediately took it as his underling. Now, he also lacked a suitable weapon. If he forged a saber, his strength would increase once again. He didn't know when he could become a saint. 100 years? That's too long. I used to be a super great emperor. Even if I cultivate again, it will be very fast for me to become a saint. 50 years. Within 50 years, I must become a saint. Emperor Starglory set a goal for himself, because this time he not only wanted to compete with himself, but also with others. He wanted to be the first to crack the dream of eternity. After all, he could save 8 people from the Nirvana realm after getting the 8 longevity fruits. Boom. Just as he was thinking, a thunderous sound came from outside the cave. Dust flew into the air, and the entire cave began to shake violently. Emperor Starglory frowned. What's going on? The rhinoceros demon's face changed. Who is so reckless? The little rhinoceros demon outside rushed in and said, Your Majesty, there is a monkey coming to kill Wild. Monkey? From the Monkey Mountain nearby? These people really don't know what's good for them. Big brother, don't worry. I'll kill that monkey now. Don't bother me. The stone man waved his hand and said. The rhinoceros demon hurried out of the cave house. Holding a giant axe, he shouted coldly, Damn monkey, come here and die. This monkey was none other than Lin Xian. When Lin Xian looked at the rhinoceros demon, he said, I heard that you found a piece of iron burning with purple flames. Hand it over, and I'll spare your life. Spare my life? You think you can do that? The rhinoceros spirit laughed loudly. Your Monkey Mountain is too poor. I don't like it. Otherwise, do you think you monkeys would still be alive? However, since you've delivered yourself to death, I'll fulfill your wish. After saying that, he swung his axe over. Lin Xian swayed slightly and dodged the attack. He said, Since you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit, I'll fulfill your wish. After saying that, he coldly snorted. The 9 Yang divine body blossomed with radiance. Golden flames appeared on his body, burning fiercely. At this moment, he was like a divine monkey, terrifying to the extreme. What is this? Seeing this scene, the rhinoceros was stunned. What kind of great divine power is this? Since when did the Monkey Mountain have such a monkey king, pretending to be mysterious? The rhinoceros spirit didn't believe it. He raised the mountain-splitting axe with both hands and swung it viciously. Boom! Lin Xian sent the rhinoceros spirit flying with one punch. Both of the rhinoceros spirit's arms were broken. He screamed and flew backward. When he reached the cave abode, he said, Brother Stone, you have to save me. It's just that this monkey is too powerful. The cave was a mess, and there was the sound of the rhinoceros spirit screaming. The stone man, Emperor Starglory, frowned. You're really trash. Forget it, I'll take care of it. If he didn't take care of the monkeys outside, how could he refine them into weapons? He walked out and said in a deep voice, Kneel down and accept your death. There was a deep light flickering on this stone man's body. It was unusual at first glance. After Lin Xian saw it, he was stunned. You're Emperor Starglory? Who are you? Emperor Starglory was stunned. It was impossible for others to know this name, unless it was the 32 people who came in with him. His face was cold. Golden Flames, who are you? You're from the divine realm. Lin Xian smiled. Your eyesight is really bad. This is the 9 Yang divine body. Can't you recognize it? You're trash. What? You're that Lin Wudy. Emperor Starglory was stunned. However, in the next moment, he smiled cruelly. I didn't expect to meet you here. Lin Wudy, I've heard all kinds of legends about you. You're very strong. You can even kill a super great emperor. However, in this dream of the ancient times, you have no advantage. We've lost all our original unique skills and trump cards. Here, you're no longer the invincible genius. Let's see how I crush you. Emperor Starglory was too excited. This was a good opportunity to attack the other party. He could completely defeat the other party. More importantly, he could eliminate the other party. Thinking of this, he couldn't help but laugh. In the next moment, he made his move. Boom. Emperor Starglory raised his palm. A ray of starlight flowed out of his stone-like palm. It seemed to be connected to the stars in the 9 heavens. This strange scene stunned the rhinoceroses. The rhinoceros king also exclaimed, "My big brother is really too powerful. That damn monkey definitely can't resist it." Emperor Starglory slapped out with his palm. The starlight in the sky fell, forming a huge star. The palm covered the entire mountain. "It's so scary." "Run." The rhinoceros were terrified. Was this an immortal descending to the mortal world? When had they ever seen such a method? Mobilizing the power of heaven and earth. Lin Xian was also surprised. He had to admit that the other party was really a super great emperor. In this short period of cultivation, he could mobilize the power of heaven and earth. But so what? During this period of time, he cultivated the 9 yang divine body and had been strengthening his physique. He wasn't afraid of anything now. He didn't have any trump cards or divine abilities, and neither did the other party. With an angry roar, he punched out. Boom. Although Lin Xian's fist was small, it directly pierced through the terrifying palm of stars. It tore through all the starlight and attacked forcefully like a golden god of war. After cultivating the 9 yang divine body again, Lin Xian had more insights. Previously, he took some detours in his cultivation. He didn't even know that the 9 yang divine body could be cultivated to the earth immortal realm. But now he was different. He had the follow-up laws of the 9 yang divine body. This cultivation would be more perfect. He had made up for all his previous shortcomings. Therefore, at this moment, his fist was like a god. Both sides exchanged 10 moves. Emperor Starglory's face turned ugly. His stone-like body trembled and became dim. How is this possible? I can't beat him. After having this thought, Emperor Starglory was stunned. This was a fair battle. After cultivating again, he was still not a match for him? Impossible. I don't believe it. It seemed that he had to use his killer move. Star Seal. With Emperor Starglory's current strength, he still couldn't use this move. However, there was no other way. There were too many benefits to killing Lin Wudi. Even if the other party didn't really die, he could still eliminate him. Therefore, he had to disregard everything. With an angry roar, he formed a seal with his palm, and a powerful force erupted. His body couldn't hold on any longer, and cracks appeared. However, he still struck out with his palm. You're tuning into the Mystic Fist YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe, and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.